Time is your most valuable resource, and how you spend it shapes every part of your life. Every day offers choices that either move you closer to your goals or leave you stuck in routines that drain your energy. In this audiobook, you will discover practical steps to take control of your time, focus on what truly matters, and create habits that improve your life steadily. You will learn how to protect your attention, use moments wisely, and balance work with personal joy so that every day feels productive and meaningful. This is not about doing more for the sake of busyness. It's about making deliberate decisions that grow your skills, strengthen your mind, and bring satisfaction to your daily life. By the end of this audiobook, you will have clear strategies to plan, act, and reflect in ways that turn time into real progress. Every chapter will guide you through actionable advice that you can apply immediately to feel more focused, accomplished, and fulfilled. If you have ever felt that days pass by too quickly or that your goals are always just out of reach, this guide will give you the tools to change that. Stay with me, and you will learn how to take control of your time, live intentionally, and make every day count. Chapter 1. Define your priorities and focus on what matters most. Time is the one resource every human being shares equally at the start of each day. No matter who you are, where you live, or what you do, you receive the same 24 hours. The difference between those who live with clarity and progress and those who remain stuck and unfulfilled lies not in the quantity of time but in how it is spent. The ability to spend time wisely begins with a single skill: defining your priorities and focusing on what matters most. Without priorities, time becomes scattered, filled with distractions and wasted effort. With priorities, time becomes meaningful, directed, and productive. The discipline of choosing what deserves your attention creates a foundation for every other improvement in life. To define priorities, you must first recognize the difference between urgency and importance. Many people confuse the two. Urgency is the loud knock at the door, the buzzing phone, the never-ending stream of notifications. Importance is quieter. It is often not pressing in the moment, but it shapes the quality of your future. If you allow urgency to dominate, you will always feel busy yet make little meaningful progress. If you learn to recognize importance and give it attention, you will begin building a life that reflects your values, instead of one pulled in every direction by outside forces. A practical way to begin is to write down the areas of life that matter to you the most. Health, relationships, personal growth, meaningful work, contribution, and inner peace are often at the top for many people. But the list must be personal. You must be honest with yourself. What matters to you may not be what matters to others, and that is not a problem. Once you see your areas of importance, narrow them further. Choose 3 to 5 areas that deserve your highest attention. This process is not about excluding everything else forever, but about making clear what should never be neglected. With those priorities identified, the next step is to connect them to your daily decisions. If health is a priority, then exercise, nutrition, and rest cannot be optional. If relationships are a priority, then making time for loved ones must become part of your regular schedule, not something done only when convenient. If personal growth is a priority, then reading, learning, and practicing new skills must take space in your day. Priorities are not defined in words alone. They are proven through actions. Many people believe they know their priorities, yet their schedules tell a different story. Someone may say family is their greatest priority, but they spend far more time on work emails than they do with their children. Another may say health is important, but spend more hours on the couch than in movement. The truth about priorities is always revealed by the way time is spent. If your actions do not align with your stated values, then your life will feel unbalanced and unsatisfying. The task is to bring those two into harmony. Focusing on what matters most requires discipline. The world offers unlimited distractions, and many of them appear harmless. Social media feeds, endless entertainment, constant news updates. None of these are necessarily destructive in small doses, but when they dominate, they eat away at time that could have been used for progress. The solution is not to remove every distraction completely, but to set clear boundaries, create intentional spaces for leisure, while reserving the best hours of your day for what matters most. By protecting your focus, you honor your priorities. Consider the morning hours as a sacred opportunity. Research and experience both show that the first hours after waking carry the highest energy and clarity for most people. If you dedicate those hours to your highest priorities instead of to distractions, you set the tone for the entire day. This does not require complicated rituals. It simply means choosing one or two activities that align with your most important values and doing them before the noise of the world enters. Write if your priority is creative work. Exercise if your priority is health. Study if your priority is growth. These early choices create momentum that strengthens your commitment throughout the day. Defining priorities also requires learning to say no. Every invitation, request, or opportunity that does not align with what matters most becomes a test of your discipline. Saying yes to everything leaves you drained, scattered, and resentful. Saying no to what does not fit makes space for what does. This practice is not selfish, it is necessary. A life of clarity and progress cannot be built if every moment is given away to the demands of others. By respecting your own priorities, you also set an example for others to respect theirs. Reflection is another tool to strengthen your priorities. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review how you spent your time. Did your actions match what you claim to value? Where did you allow distractions to take over? What can you adjust tomorrow? This simple practice of review prevents unconscious living and keeps your focus sharp. Over time, it trains you to catch yourself in the moment, making it easier to redirect your attention before too much time is lost. To give even more structure, create a priority list for each week. Write down the 3 most important tasks or commitments that must be accomplished for your chosen priorities. Do not fill the list with 10 or 20 items, just 3. If health is your priority, perhaps your list includes 3 workouts and preparing healthy meals. If relationships are your priority, maybe your list includes 2 meaningful conversations and a shared activity with a loved one. If growth is your priority, perhaps your list includes finishing a book or practicing a new skill. By setting clear, limited targets, you avoid overwhelm and create steady progress. Another principle is to measure your time not only by productivity, but also by meaning. Sometimes the most important use of time is not to get more done, but to experience life fully. If one of your priorities is relationships, then sitting quietly with a family member, listening without distraction, is not wasted time. It is fulfilling the very purpose you declared important. If one of your priorities is health, then a restful walk in nature is not wasted time. It is living in alignment with your values. Meaningful time is not always about efficiency. It is about consistency and presence in the areas you value. Defining priorities also brings peace to your mind. When you know what matters most, you stop feeling guilty for not doing everything. You understand that by choosing one thing, you must let go of another. Instead of chasing every demand, you direct yourself with intention. This reduces stress and brings clarity. You no longer ask, "What should I do now?" but rather, "What action aligns with my priority?" This single shift saves immense mental energy and strengthens confidence. There will always be challenges. Life does not run according to a perfect plan. Emergencies, obligations, and unexpected events will test your priorities. But when your foundation is strong, you can adjust without losing direction. For example, if health is a priority and a busy week forces you to skip a workout, you can still choose a healthy meal. If relationships are a priority and you miss one planned meeting, you can still send a heartfelt message. The principle is not perfection but consistency. The stronger your priorities, the easier it becomes to return to them even after disruption. A helpful exercise is to imagine your future self 5 years from now. Picture yourself looking back at the present. What actions would you wish you had taken consistently? What areas would you regret neglecting? Use those answers to refine your priorities today. Often, the things that will matter most in the long run are the very things we are tempted to delay. By choosing them now, you avoid regret later. It is also important to recognize that priorities evolve over time. What matters most in your 20s may shift in your 40s or 70s. The key is to remain aware and adjust as needed. Regular reflection ensures your priorities reflect your current stage of life and not outdated expectations. Staying true to yourself means revisiting your values and making adjustments with honesty. Living by priorities requires courage. It means resisting social pressure, ignoring trends that do not serve you, and sometimes disappointing others who expect your time. But the reward is a life of alignment, clarity, and fulfillment. People who chase everything end up exhausted and empty. People who choose wisely end up focused and satisfied. In practical terms, the best way to live by your priorities is to schedule them. A priority without time assigned is only a wish. If health matters, schedule exercise as firmly as you schedule work. If relationships matter, block time for them as firmly as you block meetings. If growth matters, reserve hours for study and practice. Your calendar becomes a reflection of your values, not just a record of obligations. Finally, never forget that defining and focusing on priorities is an act of self-respect. By directing your time toward what matters most, you declare that your life is valuable and worthy of care. You refuse to waste your limited hours on what does not build meaning. You choose to honor yourself, your loved ones, and your future. That is the essence of spending time wisely. The journey begins today, in the next hour, with the next decision. Your priorities will shape your actions will shape your days, and your days will shape your life. Define them with clarity, protect them with discipline, and live them with commitment. And in doing so, you will discover not only how to spend time wisely, but how to live a life that truly matters. Chapter 2. Plan each day with clear and realistic goals. Greatness begins the moment you decide to bring structure to your day instead of leaving it to chance. A day without a plan often slips away unnoticed, filled with scattered tasks and distractions that leave you wondering where the hours went. But a day designed with clear and realistic goals gives you direction, energy, and purpose. Planning is not about controlling every detail of life. It is about guiding your focus so that your actions line up with the life you want to create. Each day becomes a fresh opportunity, and with the right approach, you can transform ordinary hours into progress that compounds over time. The first step in planning is clarity. You must know what you want from the day before the day begins. Too often, people wake up and drift through routines without any intentional direction, responding to demands rather than shaping their own path. Clarity means identifying in advance what truly deserves your attention. Ask yourself, what 3 things must be accomplished today for me to feel it was a good day? This question forces you to prioritize, to separate the essential from the trivial, and to avoid overwhelming yourself with an endless list that only creates stress. Realistic goals are crucial. Setting goals that are too ambitious for a single day only leads to frustration and discouragement. A plan should stretch you, but remain achievable. For example, instead of writing "finish an entire project," break it down into smaller specific steps, such as complete the first draft or organize notes for the next section. When goals are precise and attainable, the mind feels motivated to act because success is within reach. Each small win builds confidence and momentum, carrying you forward into larger victories. A powerful strategy is to assign time slots to your goals. Writing a task on paper is helpful, but blocking a specific time for it strengthens commitment. If you decide to exercise, choose when, morning, afternoon, or evening, and protect that time as firmly as you would protect an important appointment. If you want to study or work on a project, decide the exact hour it begins. Without a scheduled time, tasks remain vague intentions that can easily be pushed aside. By giving each goal a place in your day, you transform intention into action. Another key to effective daily planning is balance. Productivity should not come at the expense of health, relationships, or rest. A well-planned day includes time for work, but it also makes space for nourishment, connection, and recovery. Without balance, progress becomes unsustainable, leading to exhaustion or neglect of important areas of life. Planning means recognizing that your energy is finite and distributing it wisely. Even short breaks, shared meals, or quiet moments of reflection can restore strength and allow you to return to your goals with clarity. Consistency is built through preparation. Planning your day the night before gives your mind direction even as you sleep. When you wake up, you already know what awaits you, eliminating hesitation and wasted time. Writing your goals down on paper or in a digital planner makes them concrete and prevents them from slipping away in the busyness of the day. This simple act creates accountability, reminding you of the promises you made to yourself. A written plan is more than a list. It is a contract with your future. Discipline plays a vital role in following through. It is easy to create a plan and then abandon it when distractions appear. The world will always present interruptions, but discipline allows you to return to your chosen path. One practical method is to review your plan several times during the day, once in the morning, once at midday, and once in the evening. These checkpoints keep your goals fresh in your mind and remind you to adjust if needed. Discipline does not mean rigidity, it means commitment to what truly matters. Progress is built not only on what you achieve, but also on what you choose to ignore. A clear plan helps you recognize tasks that do not contribute to your goals. When something unplanned arises, measure it against your priorities. If it aligns, adjust your schedule. If it does not, release it without guilt. Every yes to a distraction is a no to your real goals. Planning empowers you to guard your time against these hidden thieves of progress. To keep motivation high, track your accomplishments. At the end of the day, review what you achieved compared to what you planned. Celebrate the tasks completed, no matter how small. A sense of progress strengthens confidence and builds momentum for the next day. Even when not everything is finished, seeing that you moved forward in meaningful ways brings satisfaction. Progress, not perfection, is the true measure of a well-planned day. Realistic planning also means expecting the unexpected. Life will not always follow your schedule, but that is no reason to abandon structure altogether. Instead, build flexibility into your goals. If a planned task cannot be completed, reschedule it for the next available time rather than discarding it. Flexibility ensures that your plan supports you rather than controlling you. Over time, this adaptability allows you to remain consistent even when circumstances shift. Another powerful practice is to align your daily goals with your long-term vision. Each day is a building block in the larger structure of your life. When you plan, ask yourself how today's actions connect with the future you want to create. If your dream is financial independence, daily goals might include saving a small amount or learning a new skill. If your vision is health and vitality, daily goals might include preparing nutritious meals or engaging in physical activity. When today's plan serves tomorrow's vision, every day feels purposeful. Avoid the trap of over-planning. Filling every hour with tasks creates unnecessary stress and leaves no room for spontaneity or reflection. A good plan leaves breathing space. Choose fewer, more meaningful goals and focus deeply on them rather than scattering energy across too many tasks. This simplicity sharpens focus and increases the likelihood of success. Quality always outweighs quantity in effective daily planning. Accountability strengthens commitment. Share your daily goals with someone you trust or record them in a journal. Knowing that you will review your progress with another person or reflect on it later adds weight to your intentions. Accountability transforms vague promises into serious commitments. It also allows you to recognize patterns, learning which types of goals you consistently achieve and which you struggle to complete. This awareness helps you adjust your planning to become more effective over time. A planned day also reduces decision fatigue. When you know what to do next, you save mental energy that would otherwise be spent making choices throughout the day. This leaves more energy for the actual work and for facing unexpected challenges. By creating a plan in advance, you free yourself from constant uncertainty and hesitation. You act with clarity instead of reacting without thought. Planning each day is not about perfection. Some days will go smoothly, others will be interrupted, and some goals may remain incomplete. The true benefit lies in the habit of directing your focus. Each day you plan, you strengthen your ability to live intentionally instead of drifting aimlessly. Over time, these small daily efforts create a life shaped by choice rather than by chance. When you commit to planning, you take ownership of your time. You stop blaming circumstances and start directing your actions. Every day becomes an opportunity to move closer to your highest values and goals. By setting clear and realistic objectives, scheduling them, protecting them from distractions, and reflecting on your progress, you transform your days into powerful tools for growth. The discipline of planning is not restrictive. It is liberating. It allows you to live with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Your future is hidden inside the choices you make today. Planning each day with clear and realistic goals ensures that those choices serve your highest potential. This practice is not complicated, but it requires consistency and honesty. If you commit to it, you will discover that time is no longer something that slips away, but something you shape into progress, meaning and fulfillment. Every day becomes a step toward the life you truly want to live, and that is the reward of planning wisely. Chapter 3. Limit distractions and protect your attention with discipline. The strength of your future depends on how well you protect your attention today. In a world where every sound, notification, and distraction competes for your focus, the ability to guard your mind has become one of the greatest disciplines you can master. Time is important, but attention is even more valuable, because how you direct your attention shapes the quality of your actions and the results of your life. Without control over it, you end up giving your best energy to interruptions, leaving nothing left for the things that truly matter. Every distraction steals more than a few seconds. It breaks your flow, scatters your thinking, and weakens your ability to stay consistent. Research shows that once attention is broken, it can take several minutes to fully return to the same level of focus. Imagine how much time is wasted every day when you allow distractions to dictate your rhythm. The first step toward discipline is to recognize that distractions are not harmless. They are thieves of your potential. The modern environment is built to pull your attention in every direction. Advertisements, social media platforms, constant messages, and endless entertainment are designed to keep you hooked. This is why discipline is not simply about willpower, it is about designing your life to reduce temptation in the first place. Removing unnecessary notifications, silencing devices during work, and setting boundaries with technology are practical actions that protect your focus. When you control your environment, you no longer rely solely on willpower to resist distractions. Protecting your attention also means deciding where it belongs. Before the day begins, ask yourself what deserves your full concentration. By setting clear intentions, you create a filter for every demand that arises. When something tries to pull you away, measure it against your chosen focus. If it serves your goal, give it space. If it does not, let it pass. This deliberate choice transforms you from a reactive person to a disciplined one. Deep work is only possible when distractions are removed. Whether you are writing, learning, building, or creating, your mind performs at its highest level when it is undisturbed. To experience this state, you must create conditions for it. Close irrelevant tabs, keep your phone away, and give yourself uninterrupted blocks of time. At first, the silence may feel unusual because you are so used to constant stimulation, but as your mind adjusts, you will discover a depth of concentration that multiplies the quality of your work. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about training. Each time you resist a distraction, you strengthen your ability to focus. Like a muscle, attention grows stronger with use. At the beginning, it may feel difficult to resist checking your phone or drifting into unimportant tasks, but the more you practice holding your focus, the easier it becomes. Over time, you build a habit of concentration that carries into every area of life. One effective method is to create boundaries of time. Dedicate specific periods for focused work and treat them as non-negotiable. During this time, commit fully to the task at hand and remove all interruptions. When you know that your attention will not be pulled away, your mind relaxes into deeper focus. This approach not only improves productivity but also reduces stress because you no longer juggle multiple demands at once. It is also important to be mindful of internal distractions. Thoughts, worries, and urges can be just as disruptive as external interruptions. Training your mind through practices like breathing exercises or journaling helps clear mental clutter and brings calmness to your focus. When you learn to observe your thoughts without chasing them, you create space to return to your chosen task. Mastering internal discipline is often harder than turning off devices, but it brings the greatest strength. Another practical way to guard attention is to separate tasks. Multitasking divides your focus and reduces the quality of your output. By giving your full attention to one task at a time, you produce better results in less time. Each completed task then fuels momentum for the next, creating a rhythm of progress. Multitasking may feel productive, but in truth it leaves you scattered. Single tasking supported by discipline is what brings excellence. Your relationships with people also play a role in distractions. Some people respect your focus, while others constantly interrupt or demand your attention. Communicate your boundaries clearly. Let others know when you are unavailable and when you will be free to connect. By teaching people how to interact with your time, you protect both your relationships and your focus. This balance prevents resentment and ensures that your attention is used wisely in every interaction. Rest is another element of discipline. If you try to focus for too long without breaks, fatigue becomes its own distraction. Short periods of rest recharge your mind and allow you to return to work with energy. The discipline here lies in resting intentionally rather than slipping into endless leisure. Choose breaks that refresh you, such as stretching, walking, or quiet reflection, rather than those that drag you into hours of wasted time. Guarding your attention also requires awareness of your personal weaknesses. Everyone has different triggers. Some may be drawn to news, others to endless scrolling, and others to unplanned conversations. Identify your biggest distractions and create systems to limit them. For example, if you are tempted by social media, keep apps off your main screen or set time limits. If noise distracts you, use headphones or find a quieter space. Self-awareness allows you to apply discipline where it is most needed. Protecting your attention is not about ignoring joy or living in rigid control. It is about making conscious choices. Entertainment, social interaction, and relaxation all have a place in life, but they must be chosen intentionally, not as automatic escapes. When you decide how and when to give your attention, these activities become fulfilling instead of draining. The discipline of focus creates confidence. When you complete tasks without distraction, you feel capable and strong. Each day of concentrated effort builds trust in yourself, showing you that you can direct your mind wherever it is needed. This confidence spills into other areas, helping you approach challenges with calmness and determination. The habit of protecting attention is not only about productivity, it is about building character. Over time, this discipline also increases freedom. At first, limiting distractions may feel restrictive, as though you are denying yourself pleasures. But as you experience the benefits, greater clarity, stronger results, deeper satisfaction, you realize that discipline is not restriction, but liberation. It frees you from being controlled by impulses and external noise. It gives you the power to decide where your life energy flows. At the end of each day, reflect on how well you protected your attention. Did you give it to what mattered most, or did distractions consume it? This simple review strengthens awareness and helps you improve the next day. Over weeks and months, you will see how much more you accomplish when your focus is guarded. The progress will not only be external but also internal, as you feel calmer, sharper, and more in control. Your life will ultimately follow the direction of your attention. What you focus on grows stronger, while what you neglect fades. By limiting distractions and practicing discipline, you ensure that your attention serves your highest goals, rather than being scattered across trivial things. The power to build a meaningful life lies in how you guard your mind each day. Protect it with strength, use it with intention, and you will discover that discipline over attention is the foundation of true success. Chapter 4. Use small blocks of time for meaningful progress. Every minute you waste is a chance you never get back, but every small block of time you use with intention can completely shift the direction of your life. Too often people wait for long, uninterrupted hours to begin something important, but those perfect conditions rarely appear. The truth is, progress happens when you learn to use the time you already have, even if it comes in fragments. 10 minutes before a meeting, 15 minutes while waiting for a call, or 20 minutes in the evening can become powerful building blocks when you decide to use them wisely. Great achievements are not the result of one huge burst of effort, but of consistent action taken in smaller steps. Think about how much time slips away unnoticed each day. We scroll through endless feeds, get lost in conversations that lead nowhere, or simply let moments pass because they seem too short to matter. But those short moments add up. If you add just 30 minutes a day towards something meaningful, you accumulate more than 3.5 hours a week, nearly 15 hours a month, and almost 200 hours a year. That is enough time to master a skill, read dozens of books, strengthen your body, or build a project that once felt impossible. The key is to stop underestimating short windows of time. When you treat them as valuable opportunities instead of throwaway minutes, your life takes on a new rhythm. Instead of waiting for the perfect schedule, you learn to create momentum in the middle of ordinary days. Small actions, repeated consistently, carry enormous weight over the long run. This is why some people make steady progress while others feel stuck, because one group knows how to turn little moments into meaningful steps forward. It begins with awareness. You must notice the moments that usually slip through your hands. Are you standing in line, sitting in the car waiting for someone? Do you wake up earlier than expected some mornings? These moments can become productive when you decide to use them intentionally. You could review a plan, write down thoughts, practice a language, stretch your body, or send important messages. The difference between wasted time and used time is the clarity of purpose you bring to it. Small blocks of time also help you overcome procrastination. Many people delay tasks because they imagine they will need hours to complete them. But when you break the task into smaller portions and focus on just starting within a short window, you reduce the mental weight attached to it. Writing one paragraph, reading 2 pages, or organizing one drawer feels manageable, and once you begin, you often find energy to keep going. By lowering the barrier to action, small chunks of time turn hesitation into movement. These short bursts are also ideal for practice and mastery. Think about how athletes train. They don't try to master everything in one exhausting session. Instead, they repeat small drills over and over until the skill becomes natural. You can apply the same approach to your own goals. If you want to learn an instrument, practice for 15 minutes twice a day instead of waiting for a 2-hour block that may never come. If you want to improve your health, do a quick stretch routine, prepare one healthy snack, or take a 10-minute walk whenever you can. Small steps maintain momentum and prevent stagnation. Another powerful aspect of short, meaningful time blocks is their ability to sharpen focus. When you know you only have 15 minutes, you cut out unnecessary distractions and give your full attention to the task at hand. This focused energy can often be more productive than an hour of scattered effort. Short limits push you to work with intensity, clarity, and precision. You stop overthinking and simply act, which accelerates your progress. Of course, using small blocks of time effectively requires preparation. You must know in advance what matters to you so that when the moment appears, you can act immediately. Keep a list of tasks that can be done in 10 or 15 minutes. Carry a book, notebook, or digital tool with you. Have small goals ready so you don't spend valuable time deciding what to do. With preparation, you transform idle time into purposeful growth. Consistency is where the real power lies. One block of 10 minutes may not change your life, but the repeated use of 10 minutes over weeks and months creates powerful results. Consistency builds habits, and habits create identity. If you dedicate yourself to these small but steady actions, you begin to see yourself as someone who takes control of time instead of letting it slip away. That shift in self-image is what drives long-term transformation. Another benefit is the sense of accomplishment you gain. Completing small tasks throughout the day gives you a series of victories, no matter how minor they seem. These victories release energy and confidence, which then fuel larger actions. Progress, even in small doses, creates motivation. And motivation is what pushes you to aim higher, try harder, and stay committed. The more you succeed in short bursts, the more you trust yourself to succeed in greater challenges. This approach also makes life more balanced. Instead of dedicating huge portions of your day to only one pursuit, you spread growth across different areas. A few minutes for learning, a few for fitness, a few for reflection, and a few for relationships allow you to advance in multiple directions without overwhelming yourself. Your life feels richer and more complete when every small window of time is treated as a chance to nurture different dimensions of who you are. The beauty of this strategy is that it works for everyone, no matter their age, background, or schedule. Whether you are a student, a parent, a professional, or retired, you have short pockets of time that can either slip away unnoticed or be transformed into steps toward your goals. The choice is always yours. Each day presents countless small opportunities, and the more you train yourself to recognize and use them, the more control you gain over your future. Remember, success is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It is about making progress in imperfect conditions. Small blocks of time are the building stones of great achievements. Every book is written one page at a time. Every journey is walked one step at a time. Every skill is learned one practice at a time. When you honor these small moments, you honor your potential. So from this moment on, challenge yourself to see time differently. Do not dismiss the minutes between tasks, the brief pauses in your day, or the moments when you think nothing can be accomplished. Instead, seize them with intention. Fill them with actions that align with your goals. Use them to create momentum that will carry you forward. The minutes you value become the hours you own, and the hours you own become the life you create. When you master the art of using small blocks of time for meaningful progress, you no longer wait for life to give you opportunities. You create them, and once you create them, you step into a future shaped by steady growth, relentless discipline, and the quiet power of consistency. That is how you move closer to the life you want, one small but powerful block of time at a time. Chapter 5. Practice saying no to activities that waste energy. The fastest way to take back control of your life is to learn the power of saying no. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you are silently saying no to your own growth, your own peace, and your own future. People often drain themselves not because they lack energy, but because they give it away to commitments and activities that bring no real value. The truth is, you cannot live a focused, productive, and fulfilling life if you are constantly pulled in directions that do not serve you. Protecting your energy begins with courage. The courage to refuse what wastes your time and your spirit. Most people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others or missing out. But what you must realize is that every unnecessary yes is a direct withdrawal from your energy bank. You have a limited supply each day, and once it is spent, it cannot be recovered. If you give your attention to gossip, unproductive meetings, endless phone calls, or obligations you don't truly care about, you end the day feeling exhausted without having moved closer to your goals. On the other hand, if you guard your energy and invest it only in meaningful actions, you end the day satisfied, stronger, and more in control. Saying no is not about being rude, selfish, or uncaring. It is about valuing your time enough to reserve it for what truly matters. If someone asks you to participate in an activity that brings no growth, you can decline politely without guilt. Protecting your boundaries is an act of self-respect. When you say no, you are not rejecting the person, you are rejecting the distraction. This distinction is important because it frees you from the emotional weight of feeling guilty when you prioritize yourself. Think about how many times in the past you agreed to do something you didn't want to. You attended an event that drained you. You said yes to extra tasks that were not your responsibility, or you allowed yourself to be caught in conversations that wasted hours. How did you feel afterward? Likely tired, resentful, or frustrated. Now imagine if you had said no. That time and energy could have been invested in rest, in personal growth, in work that excites you, or in the people who truly matter. That is the power of learning to decline what does not serve you. To practice this skill, you must get clear on your priorities. When you know exactly what matters most to you, saying no becomes easier because you measure requests against your goals. If an activity does not align with your values, it is not worth your energy. Without clarity, everything seems urgent and important. But with clarity, you see the difference between what truly adds value and what only consumes your strength. One of the most common traps is overcommitment. People accept too many invitations, too many responsibilities, and too many roles, thinking they must be available for everything. But spreading yourself thin weakens your effectiveness. You may think you are being helpful, but in reality you are sacrificing depth for surface-level involvement. When you say yes to too much, you rob yourself of the ability to give your best to the few things that actually matter. Strength comes from focus, and focus requires the discipline to say no. Another area where you must practice refusal is with your digital life. Notifications, social media, and endless online distractions are constant requests for your attention. Each time you indulge without control, you are saying yes to energy drains and no to progress. You must actively say no to unnecessary scrolling, to endless news updates, and to conversations that lead nowhere. Instead, redirect that energy toward activities that build your knowledge, strengthen your health, or deepen your relationships. Saying no also protects your mental health. When you constantly agree to things you dislike, you build internal tension. You feel controlled by others' demands rather than your own choices. This creates stress, frustration, and eventually burnout. But when you say no, you reclaim ownership of your life. You send a message to yourself that your time has value. That sense of control brings calm, confidence, and freedom. Many people underestimate how powerful a single no can be. Declining one meaningless task can open the space for hours of productive work. Saying no to a toxic relationship can save years of emotional struggle. Refusing to engage in negativity can protect your peace of mind. Every no creates room for a more powerful yes. You are not closing doors, you are opening the right ones. To become skilled at this, start small. Practice saying no in simple situations, then build up to larger commitments. For example, if someone invites you to a casual activity that doesn't interest you, politely decline. When you see how freeing it feels, you will grow more confident. Over time, your ability to say no will strengthen, and so will your focus. It is also important to understand that saying no does not always require explanation. Many people over-explain, trying to justify their refusal, but the more you explain, the more room you create for negotiation. A simple and respectful no is often enough. Your boundaries do not require permission from others, they require respect from yourself. Learning this discipline will transform your relationships as well. When you establish boundaries, you attract people who respect your time and energy. Those who try to guilt you into unnecessary commitments will reveal themselves, and you can decide how much space they deserve in your life. Over time, your circle becomes stronger, filled with people who uplift you rather than drain you. Saying no is also an act of long-term strategy. Every unnecessary activity you decline today creates space for something greater tomorrow. It is the difference between living reactively and living intentionally. If you keep saying yes to every request, you will look back and realize that your life was shaped by other people's priorities, not your own. But if you build the discipline to say no, your days begin to reflect your vision. You must remind yourself that your energy is one of your most valuable resources. Unlike money, once it is spent, it cannot be earned back. Guard it with the same seriousness you would guard your health or your freedom. Every yes must be earned by something worthy of your time. If it does not contribute to your growth, peace, or future, it does not deserve your energy. In the end, mastering the ability to say no is mastering the art of living on purpose. It is choosing your path instead of being dragged by distractions. It is respecting your time enough to spend it on what lifts you higher. It is deciding that your energy is too precious to be wasted on things that do not matter. Once you embrace this, you will feel lighter, more focused, and more powerful. You will find yourself making progress faster, not because you are doing more, but because you are no longer wasting yourself on what drains you. So, from today forward, commit to practicing this discipline. Say no without guilt, without fear, and without hesitation. Protect your time like it is gold. Use it only for what adds value to your life. Every no strengthens your focus, protects your energy, and brings you closer to the life you deserve. The more you practice, the stronger you become, and the stronger you become, the more unstoppable your progress will be. Chapter 6. Track your habits and adjust them for better results. The strongest foundation for lasting success is built on the habits you repeat every single day, because your future is the direct result of the actions you choose consistently. Habits shape your health, your productivity, your relationships, and your peace of mind, and that is why it is not enough to form them. You must also track them and refine them to create the best possible results. When you measure what you do, you begin to see patterns that you would otherwise overlook, and when you see those patterns clearly, you gain the power to adjust them for improvement. Without this awareness, you move through life blindly, repeating routines that may not serve you and wasting valuable time on practices that keep you stagnant. Tracking your habits is an act of honesty with yourself. It reveals whether your actions are aligned with your goals or whether you are simply living on autopilot. For example, you may think you are exercising regularly, but when you track your habits, you realize you only worked out twice in the past week. You may believe you are managing your time well, but a record of your activities might show hours spent on distractions. These insights can be uncomfortable, but they are necessary if you want to grow. Progress does not come from wishful thinking. It comes from accurate evaluation and disciplined adjustment. The simplest way to begin is to choose a few habits you want to build or improve. Write them down in a place you can see daily. Each day, record whether you followed through or not. This can be done in a notebook, a calendar, or a digital app. The method is not as important as the consistency. The act of recording creates accountability. You can no longer lie to yourself because the truth is written clearly in front of you. Over time, this tracking process builds self-awareness, and self-awareness leads to self-mastery. Once you gather enough data on your habits, you must study the patterns. Notice when you succeed and when you fail. Pay attention to the times of day, the environments, and the emotional states that support your habits versus those that sabotage them. For example, you might notice that you stick to healthy eating during weekdays, but break your plan on weekends. Or you may discover that you are consistent with reading in the morning, but struggle at night. These observations allow you to make specific adjustments rather than vague promises. Instead of telling yourself you will do better, you can redesign your routines to support success. One of the most powerful benefits of tracking habits is the sense of progress it creates. When you see check marks building up on a calendar, you feel motivated to keep the streak alive. Each small mark becomes a reminder that you are building something greater through discipline. Even on days when you feel unmotivated, the visible evidence of your past efforts can push you to continue. This is how momentum is created. Not through occasional bursts of energy, but through steady, measured action that compounds over time. Adjusting habits is equally important as tracking them. You cannot cling to routines that are not producing results. If you track your sleep and realize you are constantly tired despite spending enough hours in bed, you may need to change your bedtime routine. If you track your study habits and see that you are not retaining information, you may need to try different methods of learning. Adjustment requires flexibility and humility. It means being willing to admit when something is not working and having the courage to try a new approach. Without adjustment, tracking becomes a useless record of failure. With adjustment, tracking becomes the blueprint for continuous improvement. Many people resist tracking habits because they fear confronting their own inconsistency. But avoiding the truth does not make it disappear. It only prolongs stagnation. Facing your habits honestly may sting at first, but it is the only way to take control of your future. The discipline to measure and adjust is what separates those who grow from those who remain stuck. Every improvement in your life, no matter how large, begins with awareness of what you are doing daily. It is also important to celebrate small wins as you track. If you meditate 3 times this week, when last week you did none, that is growth. If you reduce your time on distractions by even 30 minutes a day, that is progress. Acknowledging these steps builds confidence and keeps your motivation alive. Improvement does not always come in massive leaps. It often comes in quiet, steady progress that compounds into transformation. By tracking, you can see those subtle changes that would otherwise go unnoticed. Tracking habits also allows you to replace harmful patterns with better ones. For example, if you notice that you waste an hour on your phone each morning, you can set a rule to replace that hour with reading or exercise. Without tracking, the wasted time blends into your day unnoticed. With tracking, the wasted time is exposed, and you can make conscious choices to replace it with something that supports your growth. This is how you reclaim control of your time and energy. Your habits are not fixed. They are flexible, and you hold the power to reshape them. But reshaping requires evidence. You cannot improve what you do not measure. Imagine a person trying to lose weight without tracking food or exercise. They may believe they are making progress, but without data, it is just a guess. The same is true for every area of life. You must gather evidence of your actions, analyze it, and then adjust intelligently. This is the path to mastery. Another powerful practice is to set habit goals in cycles. Track your habits for 30 days, then review and adjust. A month is enough time to build consistency and also enough to see whether a habit is delivering results. This cycle of tracking, reviewing, and adjusting ensures that you are always moving forward. Without review, habits can drift off course. With review, you remain intentional and aligned with your goals. To make this practice sustainable, keep it simple. Do not try to track every detail of your life. Choose a handful of habits that matter most to your health, growth, and happiness. Too many tracking goals can overwhelm you and lead to quitting. Start small. Build consistency, then expand gradually. Mastering a few key habits can often transform your entire life because those habits ripple into every area of your existence. As you track and adjust, remember that perfection is not the goal. Consistency is the goal. Missing a day is not failure. It is a signal to get back on track. What matters is the long-term trend. If you consistently return to your habits, you will grow stronger over time. The discipline to begin again after setbacks is what ensures success. Tracking helps you see that a single mistake does not erase your progress. It shows you the bigger picture of growth across weeks, months, and years. In the end, the discipline of tracking and adjusting habits is the discipline of self-respect. It means you care enough about your future to monitor your present. It means you choose intentional living over drifting aimlessly. It means you value progress more than comfort. Each mark you make, each adjustment you try, is an investment in the person you are becoming. So take ownership of your habits, starting today. Track them honestly, adjust them wisely, and let the evidence of your actions guide you forward. Each day you do this, you sharpen your discipline, you build your resilience, and you get closer to the life you want. The power is in your hands, and it begins with the simple act of paying attention to what you do repeatedly and having the strength to refine it for better results. Chapter 7. Dedicate mornings to tasks that require strong focus. The quality of your mornings often decides the quality of your entire day, and if you choose to dedicate those early hours to tasks that demand your strongest focus, you set yourself up for levels of progress and clarity that few people ever experience. Morning is not just another part of the day, it is the time when your mind is freshest, your energy is untapped, and your environment is often quieter and less demanding. This makes it the perfect window to tackle the activities that require your deepest concentration and the highest level of discipline. Too many people waste their mornings on trivial tasks, messages or routines that could be handled later, and in doing so, they give away the best part of their energy to things that do not matter. If you want to live a life of intentional growth, you must guard your mornings carefully and direct them toward what brings lasting progress. When you wake up, your mind has not yet been cluttered by the noise of the day. Your thoughts are not scattered by endless conversations, distractions, or interruptions. This clarity is precious, and if you pour it into important work, you will move further in one focused hour of the morning than in several scattered hours of the afternoon. Think about the tasks that demand your sharpest attention: writing, studying, problem solving, learning a new skill, or planning your goals. These activities flourish when your mind is at its peak. If you push them to later in the day, you will find yourself drained, distracted, and far less capable of producing meaningful results. Using your mornings wisely requires planning the night before. You cannot wake up and hope to stumble into productivity. Before you go to sleep, decide exactly what task you will tackle first thing in the morning. By doing so, you remove hesitation and eliminate wasted energy on indecision. When the morning comes, you can step directly into focus, knowing what matters most. This one habit transforms your mornings from random hours into purposeful time blocks that accelerate your progress. Another benefit of morning focus is momentum. When you accomplish something meaningful early, it sets a tone of success for the entire day. You carry that sense of achievement with you, which makes you more confident and more resilient against distractions. On the other hand, if you spend your mornings on shallow activities like checking your phone or responding to unimportant messages, you begin your day in reaction rather than intention. That reactive start often follows you, making the rest of the day less productive. Momentum is real, and it is built in the morning. To dedicate mornings to high-focus work, you must protect them fiercely. This means delaying low-value tasks, such as emails, social media, or casual browsing until later. These activities are easy and tempting, but they rob you of your best mental energy. Instead, train yourself to approach mornings with seriousness. Imagine you are guarding a treasure, because in truth, you are. Your attention is the most valuable resource you have, and mornings give you the purest form of it. Protect it as you would protect anything that is rare and precious. It is also important to create a morning environment that supports concentration. Start with a clear space, free from clutter and distractions. Prepare everything you need the night before so that when you sit down to work, you can begin immediately. Keep your phone out of reach. Silence unnecessary notifications, and give yourself a window where the world cannot intrude. This environment signals to your brain that it is time for deep, meaningful work, not shallow distractions. Many people underestimate the compounding effect of using mornings well. Imagine dedicating just 90 minutes every morning to your most important goal. Over a week, that is more than 10 hours of focused effort. Over a month, it becomes 40 hours. Over a year, it adds up to nearly 500 hours of pure, undistracted progress. With that kind of consistent effort, you can write books, master new skills, build businesses, or transform your health. What seems small in the short term becomes massive when multiplied over time. Discipline is essential because mornings can easily slip away if you do not guard them. It is tempting to hit snooze, scroll through your phone, or linger in comfort. But discipline means remembering that your mornings are not disposable. They are the foundation of your success. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you strengthen your willpower and prove to yourself that you are in control of your life. That discipline spills over into the rest of your day, making you stronger in every area. It is also worth recognizing that not all tasks are equal. To use mornings wisely, you must choose the right kind of work. Administrative tasks, small errands, or casual conversations do not deserve your best energy. They can be done later when your focus is naturally lower. Reserve mornings for the tasks that stretch your abilities, push your limits, and bring long-term rewards. When you structure your day this way, you not only maximize productivity, but also align your energy with your true priorities. There will be mornings when motivation feels low, but this is where commitment becomes vital. Do not rely on mood to guide your actions. Instead, rely on the habit of beginning. Often, once you start, the energy and focus will follow. The simple act of beginning creates momentum that carries you forward. The more consistent you are, the less effort it takes to get into focus, because your brain begins to associate mornings with deep work automatically. Using mornings for strong focus is not only about productivity, it is about peace. When you complete meaningful work early, you carry a sense of accomplishment throughout the day. Stress is reduced because you know the most important task is already behind you. This frees your mind to engage with other responsibilities without the weight of unfinished priorities. It allows you to end your day with satisfaction rather than frustration, knowing that you used your mornings to their fullest potential. If you want to transform your life, do not underestimate the power of mornings. Dedicate them to the work that defines your future. Guard them against distractions. Plan them with intention. Approach them with discipline. Over time, this single shift can separate you from the majority of people who drift through their mornings aimlessly. You will find yourself achieving more, growing faster, and feeling stronger simply because you chose to direct your first and finest energy toward what matters most. The truth is clear: mornings are the doorway to excellence, but only if you step through them with purpose. Decide today to make them sacred. Use them for deep concentration, for progress, for building the life you desire. Do this consistently, and you will discover that the mornings you once overlooked are the very foundation of your greatest achievements. Chapter 8. Review your day and learn from your choices. Reflection is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and if you truly want to grow, you must make it a daily practice to look back at your choices and learn from them. Most people move through their days without ever pausing to ask themselves what worked, what failed, and what could have been done differently. They wake up, they go through their routines, they check off tasks, and by the time night falls, they collapse into bed, ready to repeat the cycle. But if you live that way, you miss the most powerful opportunity for growth, the chance to study yourself and refine your actions. The truth is, every day holds lessons. Every decision you make, whether small or large, carries a message about your thinking, your habits, and your priorities. If you never stop to review, those messages remain hidden, and your progress slows down without you even realizing it. When you review your day, you bring clarity to your patterns. You begin to notice the times you felt strong, the moments you lost focus, and the situations that drained your energy. You uncover the habits that move you forward and the ones that pull you back. This awareness is not about judging yourself harshly or replaying your mistakes in regret. It's about gaining information. You become your own teacher, your own coach, your own guide. Imagine ending each day not just tired, but wiser, more prepared for tomorrow, and equipped with practical knowledge about what actually works for you. That is the real power of reflection. Many people think they don't have time to review their day. But the truth is, it only takes a few minutes. Those few minutes, invested consistently, can save you years of wasted effort. When you take time to look at what you did, you stop operating on autopilot. You begin making conscious adjustments, small course corrections that over time lead to massive improvements. Think of it like a pilot adjusting their flight path. If they ignore their direction, even the smallest error will eventually lead them far off course. But with regular checks, they stay on track and arrive exactly where they want to be. Your life works the same way. Reviewing your day also helps you recognize patterns that repeat themselves. Perhaps you always lose momentum after lunch. Maybe your mornings are strong, but your evenings slip into distraction. Or maybe you notice that certain people, places, or activities consistently bring out the best or worst in you. When you observe these patterns, you are no longer a victim of them. You can prepare, you can adjust, and you can decide how to handle them tomorrow. Without reflection, you remain blind to these cycles and continue repeating them unconsciously. Another benefit of reviewing your day is building gratitude. As you reflect, you not only see what went wrong, but also what went right. You notice the small wins you might have otherwise overlooked. Maybe you kept a promise to yourself. Maybe you stayed calm in a situation that would have once upset you. Maybe you took a step, however small, toward your goals. These moments deserve recognition because they build confidence and reinforce positive behavior. By acknowledging progress, you motivate yourself to continue. Without this practice, it's easy to dismiss your efforts and feel like nothing is changing, even when it is. The process of reviewing your day can be as simple as asking yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? What will I change tomorrow? These questions open your mind without overwhelming it. They guide your focus without requiring hours of thought. Over time, your answers reveal a clear picture of your growth. You begin to see patterns of strength that you can build on and weaknesses you can improve. You become more intentional, more deliberate, and more aware of your choices. Reflection also strengthens self-discipline. By holding yourself accountable each night, you build the habit of honesty with yourself. You can no longer hide behind excuses or ignore wasted hours. You see the truth, and though the truth may sometimes feel uncomfortable, it also frees you. You gain control because you can only change what you are willing to face. People who skip reflection often drift into denial. They tell themselves stories about why they aren't succeeding, blaming luck, circumstances, or other people. But when you review your day, you take responsibility, you own your results, and in doing so, you empower yourself to create better ones. This practice also sharpens your ability to make decisions. By examining past choices, you learn which ones led to progress and which ones led to setbacks. Over time, your decision-making becomes more precise, faster, and more confident. Instead of repeating old mistakes, you replace them with wiser moves. You gain experience not just from living, but from studying your life. That is how you accelerate growth, by turning every day into a lesson. Some people resist reflection because they fear it will make them dwell on their mistakes. But the goal is not to live in the past. The goal is to extract lessons and carry them forward. Reflection is not about punishment, it's about progress. You don't need to replay every detail of your failures. You simply need to ask, what happened? Why did it happen? And what will I do differently next time? With that clarity, mistakes lose their power over you, and instead they serve as stepping stones toward a stronger version of yourself. Another reason reflection is powerful is that it helps you align your daily actions with your bigger goals. Sometimes we get so caught up in the tasks of the day that we forget why we're doing them. By reviewing your choices at night, you remind yourself of the bigger picture. You can ask, did today move me closer to my vision? Did I spend time on what truly matters, or did I get lost in distractions? These questions reconnect you to your purpose and ensure that your days add up to a meaningful life, not just a busy one. The habit of reviewing your day also builds resilience. When you face setbacks, reflection helps you process them constructively. Instead of seeing failure as final, you view it as information. You understand that each obstacle carries a lesson, and by learning it, you grow stronger. This mindset turns challenges into training. It keeps you moving forward when others might quit. Without reflection, setbacks feel heavier and more discouraging. With reflection, they become opportunities. Finally, reviewing your day gives you closure. It allows you to end each night with peace, knowing you've done your best and learned what you could. Instead of carrying unresolved stress or unfinished thoughts to bed, you release them by writing them down or thinking them through. This clears your mind and prepares you for restful sleep. Then, when you wake up, you begin fresh, armed with lessons from yesterday and energy for today. So, commit to making reflection a part of your daily routine. Don't leave your growth to chance. End each day with intention. Ask yourself the hard questions, but also celebrate your wins. Learn from both your successes and your mistakes. The person who reviews their day becomes unstoppable because they are always learning, always improving, and always moving closer to the life they want. Remember this: success is not built in the big moments alone, it's built in the quiet minutes when you look back, take responsibility, and decide to do better tomorrow. That is how progress becomes permanent, and that is how you create a life of purpose, growth, and lasting achievement. Chapter 9. Replace idle scrolling with purposeful and uplifting activities. Your life is too valuable to waste it on endless scrolling that adds nothing to your growth, and the sooner you recognize this, the sooner you reclaim your time, your focus, and your energy. Every minute you spend lost in idle swiping is a minute you could be using to build yourself, to nourish your mind, and to strengthen your future. Technology is powerful, and it can serve you in incredible ways, but if you let it control you, it will silently drain your potential. The truth is, many people don't even realize how much of their day slips away into meaningless content until weeks or even months are gone, and they look back with regret over all the things they could have done but didn't. You must be different. You must take control of how you use your attention, because it shapes who you become. Idle scrolling is not just about wasting time, it's about weakening your ability to live with purpose. The constant stream of images, videos, and updates fragments your concentration, shortens your patience, and leaves you restless. The more you consume passively, the less you create actively. The more you drown in entertainment, the less you achieve in reality. Over time, it numbs you. It tricks you into thinking you are busy, connected, or informed, when in reality, you are stuck in place. This is why replacing it with purposeful activities is not just about productivity, it's about protecting your spirit and regaining control over your own life. So, what does replacing idle scrolling actually look like? It means choosing activities that lift you up instead of draining you. It means asking yourself, what could I be doing right now that actually adds to my growth, my knowledge, my relationships, or my peace of mind? The answer might be reading a book that strengthens your thinking, writing down your thoughts to gain clarity, practicing a skill that sharpens your talent, or reaching out to someone who truly matters. These are not random tasks, they are investments. Unlike scrolling, which gives you nothing lasting, purposeful activities leave you stronger than you were before. Even small replacements make a difference. 10 minutes of reading instead of 10 minutes of swiping. 15 minutes of journaling instead of refreshing your feed. 20 minutes of stretching or walking instead of diving into a sea of endless updates. Each of these choices may feel minor in the moment, but together they transform the quality of your days. The goal is not to eliminate technology, but to use it with intention. Instead of letting your phone dictate your attention, you decide how and when to engage with it. That is real discipline. There is also an emotional side to this. Idle scrolling often leaves you comparing yourself to others, feeling inadequate or distracted by noise that doesn't concern your life. Purposeful activities, on the other hand, strengthen your confidence and give you fulfillment. When you finish reading a chapter of a powerful book, you feel proud. When you take a walk outside and breathe deeply, you feel alive. When you practice something meaningful, you feel progress. These feelings are fuel. They energize you to keep moving toward the life you want. Contrast that with the emptiness of wasting another hour on meaningless content, and the difference becomes undeniable. You may ask yourself, how do I actually break the habit? The first step is awareness. Start noticing how often you reach for your phone without thinking. Catch yourself in those moments and pause. Ask, what else could I do right now that serves me better? At first it will feel uncomfortable because your brain is used to quick hits of stimulation. But over time, as you replace those moments with uplifting actions, you retrain your mind. The more you feed it with quality, the less it craves empty distractions. Another step is to make alternatives easy. Keep a book within reach. Place a notebook on your desk. Have a podcast downloaded that teaches you something valuable. Prepare an exercise routine you can start instantly. The easier it is to switch, the more likely you will choose the better option. Don't leave your mind to fight temptation without tools. Equip yourself with replacements that matter. Accountability also helps. Share your goal with a friend or family member. Tell them you want to reduce idle scrolling and replace it with something purposeful. When someone else knows your intention, you feel more committed. You can even challenge each other to track your progress. Turning this into a shared mission makes it less of a burden and more of an empowering journey. As you make this shift, you will notice a powerful change in your days. You will feel more present, more in control, and more fulfilled. You will look back at your evenings and feel proud of how you spent your time instead of frustrated at how it slipped away. The hours that once disappeared into nothing will now be filled with progress, joy, and clarity. You will start building momentum, and that momentum will fuel every other area of your life. Think about it. How different would your life look 6 months from now if you replaced even 1 hour a day of idle scrolling with meaningful activities? That's over 180 hours. In that time, you could read multiple books, learn new skills, strengthen your health, or deepen your relationships. Those hours add up, and they shape your future. You don't need to transform everything overnight. You just need to start one choice at a time. This is about more than avoiding distraction. It's about living with purpose. The world is full of noise, but you don't have to let it consume you. You can choose substance over emptiness, growth over stagnation, clarity over confusion. Every time you replace idle scrolling with an uplifting activity, you prove to yourself that you are in charge of your life. You are not just reacting, you are deciding. So make the decision today. Don't wait until you've lost another month to meaningless scrolling. Don't keep giving your attention to things that don't deserve it. Start small, but start now. Pick one activity that uplifts you and commit to doing it the next time you feel the urge to scroll. Let that small victory build into a habit, and let that habit build into a new way of living. Because here's the truth: your time is your life. How you spend it is who you become. And you deserve to become someone strong, fulfilled, and unstoppable. Not someone drained by endless distractions. Not someone who wastes their energy on empty content. You deserve to rise higher, and it starts by replacing the things that weaken you with the things that strengthen you. This is how you reclaim your time, rebuild your focus, and create a life filled with purpose. The choice is yours, and the time to act is now. Chapter 10. Schedule rest to recharge your body and mind fully. True strength is not built by working endlessly, but by knowing when to stop and give your body and mind the chance to recover. Many people believe that success comes only through constant action, but the truth is that growth is impossible without deliberate rest. When you run yourself into exhaustion, you are not proving discipline, you are destroying the very energy you need to move forward. Rest is not laziness, it is strategy. It is the reset button that allows you to return sharper, clearer, and stronger. If you do not schedule it, life will force it upon you in the form of burnout, fatigue, and poor health. Your body has limits, and ignoring those limits comes with consequences. Sleep deprivation weakens focus, damages memory, lowers immunity, and steals motivation. Pushing yourself without breaks leads to mistakes, frustration, and wasted effort. On the other hand, giving yourself intentional rest renews your clarity and allows your mind to process, organize, and store the lessons of the day. It is during rest that your brain integrates knowledge, heals from stress, and prepares you for the challenges ahead. When you prioritize rest, you are protecting your greatest asset, your ability to perform at your best. The most disciplined people in the world do not work without stopping. They understand that true productivity comes from cycles of focused effort and complete recovery. They schedule their rest with the same seriousness they schedule their work. This is because they know that their energy is not infinite, and if they misuse it, everything they build will eventually collapse. You must learn this same wisdom. You must create space in your daily rhythm where your body and mind can breathe. Without this balance, life becomes a race toward exhaustion instead of a journey toward achievement. Rest is not only about sleep, though sleep is one of the most powerful forms of renewal. It also includes short pauses throughout your day, where you allow your mind to reset. Even a 10-minute break between tasks can refresh your focus and prevent mental fatigue. Longer pauses, such as evenings spent in calm activities, give you room to detach from stress and return with new strength. Weekly rest, like a full day away from constant work, is a chance to recharge your spirit. All of these forms of rest work together to build resilience. Without them, you drain yourself slowly until nothing is left to give. Scheduling rest is not a weakness. It is an act of mastery. It is saying, I value my energy so much that I refuse to waste it through carelessness. It means you are wise enough to treat your mind and body as tools that need care. Just as a machine cannot run without maintenance, you cannot thrive without recovery. By making rest a non-negotiable part of your schedule, you ensure that you can give your full power to the moments that matter most. Think of what happens when you give yourself a full night of deep sleep. You wake up with sharper thoughts, lighter emotions, and more energy to face the day. Decisions feel easier. Focus feels natural. Motivation flows without struggle. This is the gift of rest, and it is available to you every single day if you are disciplined enough to claim it. Contrast this with the days you run on little sleep, where every task feels heavy, every problem feels bigger, and your patience wears thin. The difference is undeniable. Your performance, your health, and your relationships all depend on how seriously you take rest. Many people pride themselves on sleeping less and working more, but this is a false badge of honor. They are sacrificing long-term progress for short-term appearances. You cannot sustain greatness on exhaustion. The strongest leaders, athletes, and thinkers all protect their rest because they know it multiplies their effectiveness. You must let go of the belief that rest makes you lazy. It is not laziness, it is preparation. It is the foundation that allows you to build without breaking. Practical steps make this easier. Create a consistent bedtime and wake-up time, even on weekends. Train your body to follow a rhythm because stability improves the quality of your sleep. Avoid screens and heavy stimulation before bed, and instead, wind down with calming routines. During the day, insert short pauses where you stretch, breathe, or step outside. Protect evenings from endless work and give yourself space to relax without guilt. When you plan your week, block out at least one period of full rest, whether it is a quiet afternoon, a hobby you love, or time with people who refresh your spirit. These steps are not luxuries, they are investments in your longevity. The mental benefits are just as powerful as the physical. Rest clears away emotional stress, lowers anxiety, and strengthens patience. It allows you to see problems with a fresh perspective instead of through the fog of fatigue. It creates balance in your life, so you are not consumed by endless effort. This balance is what makes discipline sustainable. Without it, you will eventually lose motivation and all your progress will crumble under the weight of exhaustion. With it, you build a steady rhythm that you can sustain for years, not just weeks. Rest also teaches humility. It reminds you that you are human, not a machine. It shows you that strength is not about constant output, but about wise management of energy. When you rest, you acknowledge that you need care, and this awareness keeps you grounded. Far from making you weaker, it makes you more resilient because you respect the natural limits of your body and mind. This respect protects you from collapse and keeps you steady in the long run. When you fail to rest, you pay the price not just in your work, but in your relationships. Exhaustion makes you impatient with others, less attentive, and more irritable. On the other hand, a rested mind and body allow you to show up fully for the people who matter. You listen better, connect deeper, and bring positive energy into every interaction. By scheduling rest, you are not only protecting yourself, but also giving your best self to those around you. If you look closely at your own life, you may notice that the times you were most effective, most creative, and most fulfilled were not the times you ran yourself into the ground. They were the times you balanced effort with renewal. They were the times you respected the natural need for recovery. The sooner you embrace this truth, the faster you will build a life of sustained progress instead of constant struggle. Imagine the difference a year from now if you consistently scheduled rest. Your body would be healthier, your mind clearer, your relationships stronger, and your goals more achievable. You would no longer live in cycles of burnout and recovery, but in a steady flow of energy that propels you forward. Every day would become an opportunity to give your best, not to survive on what little is left. This is the reward of disciplined rest. So make the choice now. Stop treating rest as something optional or secondary. Treat it as essential. Protect it with the same seriousness you give your most important work. When you rest fully, you rise fully. When you recover deeply, you perform greatly. Your future depends not only on how hard you work, but on how well you restore. Choose to honor your limits, and you will find that your strength expands beyond what you imagined. Rest is the foundation of resilience, and resilience is the key to lasting success. Chapter 11. Use waiting time for learning or mindful reflection. Every moment of waiting holds hidden power, and those who know how to use it wisely turn what most people waste into a tool for growth. Waiting is unavoidable. You wait in lines, you wait for appointments, you wait for people to arrive, you wait in traffic. The question is not whether you will face waiting, but how you will handle it. Many people treat it as lost time, filling it with mindless distractions that give nothing in return. But when you learn to transform those moments into opportunities for learning or mindful reflection, you unlock a quiet advantage that compounds over time. Think about the hours that vanish each week in idle waiting. For some, it adds up to entire days within a year. If you simply let those moments pass by with empty distractions, you are throwing away pieces of your life. Yet if you use that same time to strengthen your mind, expand your knowledge, or reflect on your path, you build yourself in ways that others overlook. This is where discipline meets wisdom. It is not about finding extra hours in the day, it is about claiming the hidden hours you already have and turning them into fuel for progress. Learning during waiting time is one of the most practical habits you can develop. With modern tools, you can carry entire libraries in your pocket. Audiobooks, podcasts, and digital lessons make it possible to study while standing in line, sitting on a bus, or waiting for a meeting to begin. Even 10 minutes spent listening to a valuable lesson adds up. Imagine how much knowledge you would gather over months of consistently using waiting periods to learn something meaningful. That knowledge shapes your essence, strengthens your skills, and opens doors you may not have seen before. But learning is not the only way to use waiting wisely. Sometimes the most powerful use of those moments is reflection. In a world that constantly pulls your attention outward, quiet reflection gives you the chance to look inward. Waiting can become a time to breathe deeply, to observe your thoughts, to evaluate how you are living, and to reconnect with what matters most. Instead of letting impatience consume you, you transform waiting into stillness that calms your mind and restores your focus. Reflection makes you aware of whether your actions are aligned with your priorities, and that awareness is the foundation of a purposeful life. Consider the difference between two people waiting in the same situation. One spends the time scrolling endlessly, restless and distracted. The other spends it listening to a powerful book, practicing gratitude, or reviewing their goals. By the time the waiting is over, one feels drained while the other feels enriched. Multiply that difference over years, and you can see how small choices in waiting moments create entirely different lives. One path leads to stagnation. The other path leads to growth. If you want to begin this shift, start by preparing in advance. Always carry something that can help you grow: a book, a notebook, an app filled with lessons. Anticipate that waiting will happen and have your tools ready. The next step is awareness. Each time you find yourself waiting, pause before reaching for empty distractions. Ask yourself, how can I use this moment to strengthen myself, even if it is only 5 minutes? Choose to make it count. That small act of discipline separates you from the majority who let their time slip away unnoticed. Mindful reflection during waiting does not require complex techniques. It can be as simple as asking yourself questions. How did I handle today's challenges? Am I moving toward the goals I value most? What can I improve tomorrow? Or it can be as calm as focusing on your breath, noticing the present moment, and letting your mind settle. These practices reduce stress, sharpen awareness, and give you clarity that constant busyness often clouds. Instead of feeling frustrated that you are waiting, you begin to see those moments as a gift of stillness. Over time, the habit of using waiting periods wisely strengthens your discipline. You no longer feel restless when delays happen, because you know you can turn them into something valuable. Patience becomes easier because you are not wasting the time, you are investing it. This mindset shift alone brings peace into your daily life because frustration over waiting is replaced with purpose. You begin to carry the quiet confidence that no moment is ever truly lost because you know how to make use of every one. There is also a deeper benefit. Using waiting time for learning or reflection teaches you respect for your own life. It shows that you value every minute enough to use it with care. This respect creates a higher standard for how you live, and it spreads into other areas. You start questioning how you spend your evenings, how you handle your mornings, how you fill your weekends. Once you learn to guard small moments, you naturally begin to guard larger ones. This is how small shifts lead to a complete transformation. You may not always control how long you wait, but you can always control what you do with that time. The world may slow you down, but it cannot stop your growth if you are determined to use every moment wisely. While others waste their attention, you will be quietly building yourself. While others fill their waiting with emptiness, you will fill yours with strength. And over time, this difference will show in your knowledge, your peace of mind, and your results. Think of the impact after 1 year. Imagine you dedicate just 15 minutes of waiting time each day to purposeful activities. That adds up to over 90 hours in a year, time you would have otherwise lost. In 90 hours you could complete entire books, learn new skills, or reflect deeply on your life direction. That is the power of reclaiming waiting moments. You are not adding hours to your day, you are upgrading hours that were already there. So make the choice today. Refuse to let waiting steal your time. Turn it into a tool for growth and self-mastery. Carry what you need to learn. Practice mindful reflection whenever the chance arises. Use waiting not as an excuse for frustration, but as an opportunity for progress. The people around you may waste those moments, but you will transform them. And as you do, you will discover that no delay, no line, no pause can hold you back, because every moment, even the ones that seem small, can move you forward if you are disciplined enough to use them well. Chapter 12. Organize your environment to support focus and clarity. Clarity in your environment leads directly to clarity in your mind, and when your surroundings are aligned with your goals, focus becomes natural instead of forced. Too many people underestimate how much their physical space influences their mental energy. A messy desk, crowded shelves, constant noise, or even poor lighting can silently drain attention and create invisible stress. When the environment is disorganized, the mind mirrors that confusion, but when you take control of your space and design it with intention, you create a setting where concentration flows easily and creativity thrives. Every distraction in your environment carries a hidden cost. A pile of unfinished papers on the table whispers about tasks you still haven't done. Clutter on the floor reminds you of decisions you've been putting off. Even if you think you've learned to ignore it, your subconscious doesn't forget. It holds on to those signals, and that constant background noise steals mental energy that could have been used for meaningful work. Organizing your environment is not about tidiness for its own sake. It is about removing friction so your mind is free to fully engage with what matters most. Imagine walking into a room designed for focus. The desk has only what you need for the task at hand. Light fills the space naturally, or a lamp creates warmth without strain. The chair supports you comfortably. There are no unnecessary objects pulling at your attention, no chaos in sight. In such an environment, your mind relaxes because there is nothing competing for your focus. Suddenly, tasks that once felt overwhelming become manageable because the environment is pushing you forward instead of holding you back. Creating that kind of environment begins with decisions about what stays and what goes. Every object in your space should serve a clear purpose. Either it helps you work, It helps you rest, or it brings you genuine joy. Anything else is excess, and excess is the enemy of clarity. When you begin removing what no longer belongs, you are not just clearing a room, you are clearing space in your mind. Each decision to release clutter strengthens your sense of control and reminds you that you are the architect of your surroundings. Organization also involves structure. It is not enough to simply remove clutter. You must create systems that keep your space aligned. A drawer for essentials, a shelf for references, a digital folder system that matches your needs. All of these structures prevent chaos from returning. Without systems, clutter slowly sneaks back in, and soon you are back where you started. But when every item has a home, order becomes effortless, and your environment begins to support you consistently. This is how you maintain long-term clarity instead of short bursts of order. Another powerful element is intentional design. Ask yourself, does this space inspire me to act at my best? Small changes can transform the feeling of a room. Natural light boosts alertness. Plants bring freshness and calm. A vision board reminds you of your direction. A comfortable chair encourages longer periods of focused work without strain. Even sound plays a role. Some find complete silence best, while others prefer calm background music to block out distractions. What matters is designing the space so that it energizes rather than drains you. Technology must also be managed with care. Devices can either enhance your focus or destroy it, depending on how you set up your environment. Keep your phone out of reach when you are working on something important. Arrange your desktop so that only essential tabs or applications are open. Create digital order in the same way you create physical order. Delete what you don't need, organize what you use, and remove constant interruptions that scatter your thoughts. An uncluttered digital environment extends the clarity of your physical space into your mental flow. The effect of organizing your environment is deeper than productivity. It shapes your identity. When you live in a space that reflects order, discipline, and clarity, you begin to see yourself as someone who lives with purpose. Each time you walk into that space, you are reminded of your commitment to focus and excellence. Your environment becomes a silent partner in your success, nudging you toward your best behavior without forcing it. Instead of fighting distractions, you flow naturally because the environment itself has been built to support that flow. This practice also influences how you handle challenges. In times of stress, an organized environment offers calm and stability. When life feels overwhelming, your surroundings provide a sense of control and remind you that order is still possible. This grounding effect cannot be underestimated. Chaos outside feels less destructive when the space around you is aligned and stable. It becomes a refuge where you can gather strength and clarity to move forward. The transformation does not happen in a single day. It is a continuous process of adjustment, refining, and improving. You might begin by clearing one drawer, then move to your desk, then to your entire workspace. Over time, you notice how each change improves your mental clarity and makes focus easier. The momentum builds, and soon you realize that you no longer tolerate clutter the way you once did. Your standards rise naturally because you've experienced the power of an environment designed for clarity. There is also an element of discipline in maintaining such an environment. Each day, you make small decisions to keep order, putting things back, resisting the urge to pile items, finishing one task before starting another. These small acts reinforce your ability to stay consistent. Just as the body grows stronger through repeated effort, your discipline grows stronger through repeated organization. Eventually, the habit becomes so ingrained that disorganization feels unnatural, and you maintain clarity almost without thinking. The truth is that your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does. If your space is full of distractions, even the strongest willpower will eventually bend. But if your space is designed for focus, you won't need constant effort to stay on track. You've created conditions where the natural choice is the right choice. This is the hidden advantage of organizing your environment. It makes success easier because it removes resistance at the source. Look at the people who achieve the highest levels of performance in any field. They do not leave their environment to chance. They design it to support their work, their health, and their peace of mind. They understand that environment is not neutral. It either pushes you forward or holds you back. When you take control of it, you are no longer a victim of your surroundings. You become the designer of your focus, the builder of your clarity, and the protector of your energy. Every time you walk into your space, you face a choice. Do you want it to drain you or empower you? If you want empowerment, you must take action. Start by clearing what you don't need. Organize what remains. Add elements that energize you. Remove triggers that distract you. With each step, you reshape not only your environment but also your mind. Over time, the clarity you build in your space becomes clarity in your decisions, your relationships, and your entire life. So commit to this process with seriousness. Don't treat it as a small side task. Treat it as one of the foundations of your success. Because when your environment supports your focus and clarity, you no longer waste energy fighting distractions. You channel all of it into your goals. That is the difference between living in reaction and living with purpose. And that is the power you gain when you organize your environment to align with the best version of yourself. Chapter 13. Connect daily actions with long-term life goal 4s. Every great life is built not on occasional bursts of effort, but on the steady alignment between what you do today and the vision you hold for the future. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is closed, not by luck, but by daily choices that are tied directly to your larger purpose. Many people drift through life, completing tasks without asking if those tasks lead anywhere meaningful, and as a result, they waste years of effort moving without direction. To rise above that pattern, you must create a powerful connection between your everyday actions and your long-term goals, so that every step you take carries weight and every decision you make strengthens your path forward. Think about the moments that make up your day. Each morning, each conversation, each small routine, these are not separate from your life's direction. They are building blocks of your future. When you approach them with awareness, you stop seeing them as random tasks and start recognizing them as pieces of a larger structure you are building. This perspective changes everything. A simple decision to read instead of scrolling becomes an investment in your mind. A choice to save instead of spending impulsively becomes a brick in your foundation of financial freedom. A decision to exercise instead of sitting idle becomes a step toward longevity and vitality. None of these actions are isolated. They are connected threads woven into the fabric of your bigger vision. Without this connection, even hard-working people end up feeling stuck. They put in effort, but because their actions are not tied to their ultimate goal, the effort feels empty. You may know someone who works endlessly, but sees no progress toward the life they desire. This happens when tasks and goals are disconnected. The energy is there, the time is spent, but the direction is missing. To avoid this trap, clarity must come first. You must know exactly what you want in the long term, what you want your health to look like, what relationships you want to build, what financial state you want to reach, what impact you want to leave. Once that vision is defined, it becomes the guiding light that gives meaning to your smallest daily actions. This clarity is not meant to restrict you, but to free you. When you know where you are going, you no longer waste time on things that don't matter. You no longer chase temporary rewards at the expense of lasting fulfillment. Instead, you wake up with a sense of direction, and even the most ordinary parts of your day become meaningful. Brushing up on a skill, making one call, writing one page, or having one honest conversation, all of these carry power because you know they are linked to your greater mission. The connection between daily actions and long-term goals also creates resilience. When challenges come, and they always do, you can endure them because you see beyond the discomfort of the moment. If you only think in terms of today, difficulties feel overwhelming, but if you think in terms of the future you are building, every struggle becomes temporary, every setback becomes a lesson, and every sacrifice feels worthwhile. You understand that skipping short-term comfort is not a loss, but an investment in long-term achievement. To strengthen this connection, you must actively track your progress. Reflection is essential. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did my actions today bring me closer to my vision, or did they move me further away? This simple question brings awareness and honesty. It forces you to evaluate whether you are aligning your effort with your goal or simply staying busy. Over time, this habit of self-checking refines your decisions and sharpens your discipline. You begin to notice patterns that support your goals and habits that sabotage them, and you adjust accordingly. Another key is consistency. One action taken once makes little difference, but one action repeated daily becomes a powerful force. Just as a small stream shapes stone over time, consistent choices shape your destiny. Eating healthy once does not change your body, but doing it every day transforms your health. Writing once does not make you an author, but writing daily produces books. Saving once does not build wealth, but saving regularly creates security and freedom. Consistency is the bridge that connects your vision to reality. Without it, even the clearest goal remains out of reach. It is also important to prioritize. Not every action has equal weight. Some choices move you closer to your vision much faster than others. This is why you must identify the few actions that create the biggest impact and focus your energy there. These are often the actions that require discipline, courage, or sacrifice, which is why most people avoid them. But they are also the ones that bring transformation. By choosing to face them daily, you accelerate progress and shorten the distance between your present and your future. Your mindset also plays a vital role in this connection. You must train yourself to see beyond immediate results. Many people quit because they do not see quick progress, forgetting that meaningful goals require patience. The seed you plant today does not grow overnight, but with consistent care, it becomes a tree. The work you do today may not bring recognition immediately, but over time it compounds into something greater. Trusting this process is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Equally, your environment and relationships influence whether your daily actions stay aligned with your goals. Surrounding yourself with people who share similar values and ambitions keeps you motivated and accountable. Being in environments that encourage growth rather than distraction makes the right choice easier. If your surroundings constantly tempt you toward wasteful habits, alignment becomes harder. But if your environment supports your focus, your actions naturally flow toward your goals. This alignment also requires honesty with yourself. You cannot claim to want one thing while living daily in the opposite direction. If you say you want health but eat recklessly, your actions are betraying your goal. If you say you want freedom but spend without discipline, your actions are undermining your future. If you say you want growth but waste hours in distraction, you are moving away from your vision. Honesty means facing these contradictions and correcting them, so that what you do matches what you say you want. In the end, the connection between daily actions and long-term goals is the foundation of meaningful success. It is what transforms dreams into achievements, ideas into reality, and effort into progress. The path may not always be easy, but when each day carries purpose, you no longer live in frustration. You live with direction, knowing that every choice contributes to the life you are building. So treat your daily actions with seriousness. Each decision matters, each choice carries weight. Every day you either move closer to your vision or drift further away. The power lies in what you choose to do with the hours you are given. Connect them with your long-term goals, and over time, you will see how small steps create great results. That is how ordinary days become extraordinary lives, and that is how you build a future that reflects the very best of who you are. Chapter 14. Practice deep work by giving full presence to one task. True mastery comes when you focus entirely on one task and allow nothing else to divide your attention. In a world full of notifications, distractions, and endless tasks, the ability to immerse yourself completely in a single pursuit is rare and powerful. Most people believe productivity is about doing more, multitasking, or filling every minute with activity. The truth is that real progress happens when you give your full presence to one task, eliminating all external and internal interruptions. This is not merely about working hard, it is about working deeply, intentionally, and with complete engagement. Deep work requires discipline. It demands that you set clear boundaries around your attention. When you begin a task, you commit to it entirely. You silence your phone, close unrelated tabs, and tell yourself that nothing else matters until the work is done. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. Your mind may resist because it is accustomed to constant switching and shallow focus. But each session of uninterrupted work strengthens your ability to concentrate and makes the effort easier over time. The skill of deep work compounds, allowing you to achieve more in hours than most people do in days. The benefits of giving full presence to one task are profound. First, quality improves dramatically. When your mind is not splitting focus, mistakes decrease, creativity flourishes, and solutions come faster. Second, efficiency rises. You complete work more quickly because you are fully immersed, rather than distracted by interruptions or divided attention. Third, fulfillment grows. There is satisfaction in being fully present, in seeing a project through from start to finish, without compromise. Deep work is a direct path to both mastery and satisfaction, creating results that shallow effort can never produce. To practice deep work, start by choosing the task that matters most. Identify what will create the greatest impact on your goals and dedicate uninterrupted time to it. Set a timer, define your objective, and eliminate anything that can pull your mind away. Even short intervals of focused work, such as 30 to 60 minutes, can yield remarkable results if you commit fully. Over time, these sessions expand, and your capacity for sustained focus grows naturally. The key is consistency and deliberate practice. During deep work, your mind must remain present. This means resisting the urge to check messages, think about unrelated concerns, or plan multiple tasks at once. Each time your attention wanders, gently guide it back to the task at hand. Think of this as training a muscle. The more you practice returning to focus, the stronger your mental discipline becomes. Over weeks and months, the ability to concentrate deeply will transform how you approach work, learning, and problem solving. Environment plays a critical role in enabling deep work. Choose a space that supports focus and reduces interruptions. Silence notifications, inform others of your work period, and remove any visual or auditory distractions. A controlled environment signals to your brain that it is time to enter a state of full engagement. Small adjustments, like a clean desk or a quiet room, can make the difference between scattered attention and sustained focus. Deep work also requires respect for the task itself. You must value what you are doing enough to give it your full attention. When a task is meaningful, your mind naturally commits to it. However, if a task feels trivial, practice transforming your perspective to see its importance in the larger context of your goals. By assigning significance to your work, you invite full presence and elevate the quality of your effort. Mental preparation is equally important. Begin each deep work session with clarity about what you want to achieve. Visualize the completion of the task and the impact it will have. This focus primes your mind, creating a sense of purpose that sustains attention. Throughout the session, remind yourself of the value of uninterrupted concentration. Each minute spent fully engaged is an investment in your skills, results, and growth. Distractions will inevitably attempt to intrude, whether external or internal. Thoughts of other responsibilities, sudden notifications, or random impulses are natural. What distinguishes those who succeed in deep work is their ability to recognize these distractions and return immediately to the primary task. Treat interruptions as signals rather than commands. Your power lies in choosing what deserves your attention. By consistently exercising this choice, your mental clarity and resilience strengthen over time. The cumulative impact of practicing deep work is extraordinary. Hours of focused effort yield more output, better quality, and faster learning than weeks of scattered activity. Over months, the results compound, building expertise, confidence, and mastery in ways shallow work cannot. Deep work also fosters self-discipline, patience, and presence skills that extend beyond professional life into relationships, personal development, and creative pursuits. Deep work is a mindset as much as it is a practice. It requires reverence for the value of concentrated effort, courage to resist distraction, and commitment to your priorities. It is not about being busy, it is about being purposeful. By giving your full presence to one task, you reclaim control over your time and energy. You refuse to be pulled in multiple directions and instead direct your focus toward what truly matters. Finally, deep work enhances satisfaction and fulfillment. When you look back on a completed project, knowing that every moment was dedicated fully and intentionally, there is pride and confidence in your accomplishment. This is the type of fulfillment that shallow activity cannot deliver. Each session of deep work reinforces your identity as someone capable, disciplined, and effective. It becomes a habit that elevates every area of your life. Commit to creating space for deep work every day. Even small periods of focused attention will yield results when practiced consistently. Protect these sessions fiercely. Respect your attention and eliminate distractions. Your ability to achieve meaningful outcomes, learn faster, and grow as a person depends on how well you can practice presence and fully engage in the tasks that matter. Deep work is not optional. It is essential for anyone who desires mastery, progress, and lasting impact. By giving full presence to one task, you transform effort into achievement, distraction into clarity, and potential into tangible results. Each focused session brings you closer to your goals, strengthens your discipline, and sharpens your mind. The ability to work deeply separates those who accomplish extraordinary things from those who drift through life. Choose to embrace this practice, and you will discover a level of productivity, satisfaction, and growth that is reserved for the few who understand the power of undivided attention. Chapter 15. Limit multitasking and give full attention to priorities. Real progress comes when your focus is undivided and every action aligns with what truly matters. Multitasking may seem like efficiency, but it fragments your attention and diminishes the quality of everything you do. The human mind is not designed to handle multiple priorities simultaneously at full capacity. When you try, each task receives only a fraction of your mental energy, and mistakes, stress, and fatigue quickly accumulate. To achieve meaningful results, you must resist the temptation to scatter your focus and instead dedicate full attention to the priorities that will move your life forward. Start by identifying what truly matters each day. Not everything on your to-do list is equally important. Some tasks will directly advance your goals, while others merely fill time or respond to external pressures. By distinguishing between what is essential and what is secondary, you gain clarity on where your energy should go. This clarity allows you to consciously choose focus instead of being pulled in every direction. When you commit to this practice, your output increases dramatically and the sense of accomplishment grows. Limiting multitasking begins with environment control. Remove distractions that tempt you to split your attention. Close unrelated tabs, silence notifications, and create a workspace that signals focus. Even small interruptions, emails, messages, background noise, fracture your concentration and slow progress. By structuring your environment to support single-task focus, you give your mind the conditions it needs to perform at its best. Time management also plays a crucial role. Schedule blocks of uninterrupted focus for high-priority tasks. During these periods, resist the urge to check your phone, respond to minor requests, or switch between assignments. The length of the block can vary depending on the task and your attention span, but the key is consistent, undisturbed engagement. The cumulative effect of these focused periods is far greater than sporadic bursts of multitasked effort. Limiting multitasking requires deliberate practice. Start by observing how often your attention drifts between tasks. Awareness is the first step toward change. Each time you notice yourself dividing focus, gently redirect attention to the primary task. Over time, this repeated act strengthens mental discipline and trains your brain to maintain concentration. You will find that tasks take less time and your work quality improves when your mind is fully present. Mental energy is finite, and multitasking depletes it faster than focused work. Constantly switching between activities forces the brain to adjust repeatedly, which is exhausting. By giving full attention to one priority at a time, you conserve energy and reduce stress. You can approach tasks with greater clarity, creativity, and problem-solving ability. This principle applies not only to work, but to learning, relationships, and personal growth. Every domain benefits from concentrated attention. Decision-making also improves when multitasking is limited. When your focus is divided, choices are often impulsive or shallow because your brain cannot fully evaluate options. By attending fully to one priority at a time, you engage deeper thinking and make better informed decisions. This leads to more consistent progress toward your goals and fewer regrets over mistakes caused by fragmented attention. The habit of single-task focus also enhances presence in relationships. When you give your full attention to conversations, meetings, or family interactions, people notice and respond positively. This strengthens trust, respect, and communication. Just as divided focus undermines efficiency, divided attention in personal interactions reduces connection. Limiting multitasking allows you to engage fully with people, strengthening bonds and enhancing collaboration. Prioritization is the backbone of limiting multitasking. Not every task requires immediate attention, and not every responsibility deserves your mental energy at a given moment. Learn to identify the tasks that are most aligned with your long-term goals and values. These are the tasks that deserve full focus. Secondary tasks can be delegated, scheduled for later, or simplified. By consciously aligning attention with importance, you eliminate wasted effort and maximize impact. Focus also develops resilience. When you commit to completing one priority at a time, you train your mind to stay steady under pressure. Multitasking creates scattered stress, but focused work cultivates calm determination. Even when challenges arise, your ability to maintain attention on what matters ensures progress continues. This mental strength becomes a key differentiator between those who achieve their goals and those who drift aimlessly. The rewards of limiting multitasking extend to personal satisfaction. Completing a task with full presence provides a sense of accomplishment and mastery that multitasking rarely delivers. Each finished project is not just checked off a list, but experienced as a meaningful achievement. The pride in doing work well fuels motivation and reinforces the habit of focused effort. Over time, this approach transforms your entire approach to life, turning ordinary days into productive and fulfilling ones. Limiting multitasking requires patience. Old habits of divided attention die slowly, but consistent practice strengthens new neural pathways. Begin with small tasks, gradually expanding the complexity and duration of focused work. Celebrate small victories and acknowledge improvements. The ability to give full attention grows with repetition, creating momentum that will carry over into all areas of life. Finally, understand that attention is the most valuable resource you have. Time can be recovered, but the energy and clarity required for meaningful action cannot be easily restored once scattered. Protect your focus as fiercely as you would protect your health, finances, or relationships. Every moment spent fully attending to your priorities compounds into meaningful results over weeks, months, and years. By choosing to limit multitasking, you reclaim control over your time and your life. Commit to this approach with discipline. Each day, identify your priorities, remove distractions, and dedicate uninterrupted focus to the tasks that matter most. Train your mind to resist the pull of multitasking and to embrace presence. Over time, this practice will increase productivity, improve decision-making, strengthen relationships, and deepen fulfillment. Your life becomes defined not by scattered effort, but by concentrated, intentional action that consistently moves you toward your goals. By giving full attention to your priorities and refusing to multitask, you unlock the power of focused effort. Each task completed with full presence builds momentum, develops discipline, and creates results that fragmented work cannot achieve. The ability to direct your attention deliberately is the foundation of success, growth, and meaningful achievement. Choosing focus over distraction transforms your potential into tangible outcomes and turns ordinary actions into extraordinary progress. Chapter 16. Build routines that remove decision fatigue and save energy. Your energy is limited and every decision you make consumes a fraction of it. So building routines is not just helpful, it is essential for living efficiently and achieving more. Most people underestimate how much small, repeated choices drain mental resources. Deciding what to wear, what to eat, which task to tackle first, or how to start the day may seem trivial, but these choices add up and create decision fatigue, leaving your mind exhausted before it even begins the important work. By designing intentional routines, you remove unnecessary decisions, conserve energy, and create a framework that allows you to focus fully on high-impact activities without being distracted by trivial choices. Start by examining your daily habits. Identify repetitive decisions that do not require creativity or deep thought. These are the areas where routines can have the most impact. For example, preparing meals in advance, setting a consistent morning routine, or planning your work schedule in blocks can eliminate countless micro-decisions. Each action that becomes automatic frees up mental space, allowing you to dedicate more attention and energy to tasks that truly matter. Routines work because they create predictability in your life. When your day follows a structured rhythm, your mind does not need to constantly evaluate what comes next. This predictability reduces stress and increases efficiency. The more you automate positive behaviors, the more mental energy you preserve for decisions that truly require focus and creativity. Over time, routines act as a foundation that supports discipline and consistency, making it easier to stick to your goals even under pressure. Morning routines are particularly powerful. Starting your day with intentional actions sets the tone for the hours that follow. Simple habits like waking up at the same time, exercising, meditating, or planning your top priorities can shift your mindset into a state of readiness and purpose. These structured actions prevent mornings from becoming chaotic, ensuring that your first decisions are meaningful and energizing rather than draining. Even small routines compound into massive advantages over time. Deciding in advance what to eat, where, or do each morning might save only a few minutes per day, but across weeks, months, and years, this adds up to hundreds of hours of conserved mental energy. This freed energy can then be applied to personal growth, strategic thinking, or completing high-priority work that moves your life forward. Every routine you build is a small investment in efficiency and clarity. Another area where routines save energy is in work processes. Establish systems for repetitive tasks, such as email management, reporting, or administrative duties. When you follow the same process each time, your brain no longer needs to reinvent the approach or make countless small decisions. This streamlining allows your mind to focus on creative problem-solving, strategy, and actions that have a meaningful impact on your goals. Efficiency through routine reduces friction and preserves cognitive capacity for critical work. Routines also protect against decision fatigue in personal life. Simple habits like consistent exercise schedules, regular meal planning, and structured sleep patterns create stability. When these areas are automated, you do not need to debate or negotiate with yourself constantly. The energy saved can be applied to more important areas, such as learning, building relationships, or advancing personal projects. When energy is conserved, it can be redirected toward what truly matters, increasing both productivity and satisfaction. Flexibility can coexist with routine. The goal is not to become rigid, but to remove unnecessary friction. Certain decisions can remain fluid, while repetitive and low-impact choices are structured to conserve energy. For example, you can have a standard work routine while allowing flexibility for creative tasks or meetings. Structuring your day does not restrict freedom. It amplifies it by freeing mental space for meaningful decisions rather than trivial ones. Routines also build consistency, which is key to long-term success. When actions become habitual, you no longer rely solely on willpower to get things done. Discipline becomes embedded in the structure of your life, rather than being dependent on fluctuating motivation. Habits automate success, creating a natural alignment between daily effort and long-term goals. Each repeated action compounds into results that may not be immediately visible, but accumulate steadily over time. Energy preservation through routine extends to decision-making quality. When your mind is not exhausted from countless small choices, your decisions in critical areas improve. You can think more clearly, analyze more deeply, and act more decisively. Fatigue clouds judgment, increases errors, and slows progress. By removing unnecessary decisions, you ensure that your mental capacity is fully available when it matters most. Building effective routines requires intention. Start by mapping out your day and identifying repetitive tasks that can be standardized. Decide the sequence of activities that maximizes energy and focus. Test, adjust, and refine over time to find what works best for you. Include time for rest, reflection, and adaptation. The goal is to create a framework that supports both efficiency and well-being, reducing mental load while enhancing effectiveness. Routines also enhance resilience. When life becomes unpredictable or challenges arise, having established patterns creates stability. A structured foundation allows you to adapt without losing focus or energy. You are less likely to be overwhelmed by circumstances because your core habits provide consistency and mental grounding. This stability is essential for sustained productivity and personal growth. Finally, building routines cultivates discipline and self-trust. Every time you follow a routine consistently, you prove to yourself that you can commit and follow through. This builds confidence and strengthens your ability to tackle larger challenges. The sense of control over your day fosters motivation, clarity, and determination, which compound into long-term success. Routines are not a limitation, they are a tool for freedom and mastery. By removing decision fatigue and automating low-impact choices, you save energy for the actions that truly define your life. Every intentional habit, morning ritual, or structured process is a building block for greater efficiency, productivity, and personal growth. The time and energy you preserve today compound into capability, focus, and achievement tomorrow. Commit to examining your daily life and creating routines that conserve mental energy. Automate what does not require creativity. Plan your high-priority actions in advance and consistently refine your structure. Each routine you establish is a deliberate step toward a life of clarity, focus, and purpose. By reducing friction and conserving energy, you free yourself to tackle meaningful challenges, advance toward your goals, and live with intentionality. The power of routines lies in their ability to transform effort into consistent, sustainable progress, making your days more productive, your decisions wiser, and your life more empowered. Chapter 17. Invest time daily in skills that improve your future. The most valuable investment you can make is the one you put into yourself every single day, because skills are the currency that shapes your future. Every hour spent learning, practicing, and refining abilities compounds over time, creating opportunities that cannot be bought or replaced. Success does not come from luck or fleeting motivation. It comes from consistent effort to grow, expand, and strengthen your capabilities. Skills are the bridge between where you are now and the life you desire, and dedicating time daily to their development transforms potential into tangible achievement. Start by identifying the skills that will have the greatest impact on your goals. These are not random hobbies, but deliberate choices that align with your long-term vision. Whether it is improving communication, mastering a technical ability, developing leadership, or enhancing critical thinking, every skill you cultivate enhances your capacity to achieve more and adapt to changing circumstances. Focusing on skills that matter most ensures that your effort produces exponential returns over time. Consistency is the key to mastery. Even small, deliberate practice each day far outweighs occasional bursts of effort. Spending 30 minutes daily honing a skill may seem insignificant in the moment, but over months it results in expertise and confidence. Daily investment removes the pressure of overworking in one sitting and allows steady, manageable growth. It is this accumulation of focused effort that separates people who achieve lasting success from those who stagnate. Time invested in learning also strengthens your mind. Each skill you practice challenges your brain to think differently, solve problems, and adapt. This cognitive growth enhances decision-making, creativity, and resilience. By making skill development a daily habit, you not only improve your practical abilities, but also expand your mental capacity, preparing you to tackle increasingly complex challenges in every area of life. It is essential to prioritize skills based on their future value. Ask yourself which abilities will open doors, create opportunities, and allow you to contribute meaningfully. Some skills have immediate practical benefits, while others build long-term advantage. Balance both types by dedicating time to urgent and foundational skills. Doing so ensures that your daily effort creates immediate progress while preparing you for bigger achievements down the line. Learning is most effective when it is active and applied. Simply reading or watching is not enough. Practice, experiment, and test your skills in real-world scenarios. Applying knowledge cements understanding and accelerates growth. For example, writing regularly strengthens communication, public speaking reinforces confidence, and coding projects deepen technical proficiency. Each applied moment translates knowledge into competence and competence into opportunity. Reflection is a vital companion to daily skill investment. After each practice session, evaluate what worked, what needs improvement, and what you can do differently next time. This self-assessment ensures that you learn efficiently and avoid repeating mistakes. It also deepens awareness of your progress, motivating you to continue and reinforcing the habit of purposeful effort. Time is a limited resource, making prioritization critical. Treat skill development as a non-negotiable appointment in your daily schedule. Protect this time as fiercely as you would a business meeting or essential obligation. Consistency matters more than duration, so even brief, focused sessions every day produce compounding results. Over weeks and months, these daily efforts accumulate into mastery, setting you apart in your field and preparing you for future challenges. Investing in skills also creates confidence. The more capable you become, the more you trust yourself to handle opportunities, solve problems, and navigate uncertainty. Confidence grows naturally from competence, and competence is built through persistent, daily effort. By committing to continuous learning, you reinforce your ability to achieve, adapt, and excel, which in turn fuels further growth. Growth through skill investment is not always easy. It requires discipline, patience, and the willingness to step outside comfort zones. Some tasks will be frustrating at first, progress may seem slow, and challenges will arise. Embrace these difficulties as part of the process. Each obstacle conquered strengthens not only your ability, but also your resilience and persistence. Success is often a result of perseverance through discomfort and consistent refinement of skill. Network and collaboration can amplify skill development. Learning from others, receiving feedback, and observing mastery accelerates growth. Surround yourself with mentors, peers, and communities that encourage development. Daily practice combined with external insights creates a richer, faster, and more effective learning process. Exposure to varied perspectives enhances understanding and equips you to apply skills in diverse contexts. Technology can be a powerful ally if used intentionally. Online courses, tutorials, and interactive tools make learning accessible and scalable. However, they must be leveraged purposefully. Avoid passive consumption or distraction. Instead, actively engage with materials, take notes, and integrate lessons into practice. Efficient use of technology turns tools into accelerators of competence and long-term success. Remember that skill development is not just about professional growth. Personal skills like emotional intelligence, resilience, time management, and self-discipline have profound impacts on overall life quality. Investing time in these areas enhances relationships, mental health, and the ability to navigate complex situations. Daily practice in personal growth ensures that you evolve not only as a professional but also as a capable, balanced, and fulfilled individual. Track progress meticulously. Set measurable milestones, document improvements, and celebrate achievements. Tracking keeps you accountable, provides motivation, and allows adjustments when progress stalls. Over time, seeing tangible results reinforces commitment and underscores the value of daily investment. Without tracking, effort can feel abstract and progress uncertain. With tracking, each small step becomes visible evidence of growth. Avoid distraction and scattered learning. Focus on a few high-value skills at a time rather than attempting to learn everything simultaneously. Depth produces mastery faster than breadth alone. Once you gain competence in one area, you can layer additional skills, building a strong foundation that accelerates cumulative growth. Prioritizing depth ensures that daily effort produces measurable, meaningful results. The mindset of lifelong learning is critical. Skill development is not a temporary effort, but a continuous process. The world changes, new opportunities arise, and challenges evolve. By committing to daily investment, you stay ahead of these shifts, remaining adaptable and capable regardless of circumstances. Lifelong learners are resilient, innovative, and consistently prepared to capitalize on opportunities. Finally, view daily skill investment as a personal responsibility. Time spent learning is an investment in your independence, capability, and future achievements. Each deliberate action compounds into long-term advantage, transforming potential into reality. The habits you form today determine your future competence, confidence, and success. The decision to invest in yourself daily is the single most effective way to shape a life of purpose, impact, and achievement. Commit to dedicating time every day to learning and practicing the skills that matter most. Guard this time, focus fully, and apply what you learn. Track progress, reflect, and refine your approach continuously. Over months and years, these consistent efforts create expertise, opportunity, and momentum that will carry you toward your goals. By investing in your abilities today, you create a future defined by competence, resilience, and extraordinary achievement. Chapter 18. Balance productivity with quality moments of personal joy. True success is measured not only by accomplishments, but by the ability to enjoy life while achieving them. Productivity alone can fill your days with tasks and checklists, but without moments of personal joy, life becomes hollow. The most fulfilling lives are built on the balance between purposeful work and experiences that nourish the soul. Achievements are meaningful when paired with laughter, connection, reflection, and leisure that recharge both mind and spirit. Prioritizing personal joy is not a luxury. It is essential for sustained motivation, creativity, and resilience. Start by recognizing the value of your own happiness in daily life. Work without pleasure leads to burnout, stress, and diminished performance. By deliberately incorporating moments of joy, you strengthen mental energy and maintain enthusiasm for your goals. These moments are not distractions from productivity. They are the fuel that sustains consistent effort and enhances focus when you return to your priorities. Quality personal moments require intention. Waiting for free time often results in none at all. Schedule activities that bring genuine happiness, whether it is reading a favorite book, walking in nature, enjoying a hobby, or spending time with loved ones. When these moments are treated as essential rather than optional, they become a consistent source of energy and fulfillment. Balance begins with awareness. Observe how your current routine divides your attention and energy. Identify areas where relentless work has replaced joy or where leisure exists without purpose. Adjust your schedule to create a harmonious mix that allows meaningful progress while preserving time for self-care and enjoyment. Awareness helps ensure that neither productivity nor personal joy is neglected. Small, deliberate breaks amplify both happiness and efficiency. Even brief pauses for mindful breathing, stretching, or reflection restore focus and prevent fatigue. These breaks allow you to approach tasks with clarity, patience, and creativity. Ignoring the need for personal rejuvenation may seem productive in the short term, but ultimately reduces output, decision-making quality, and emotional balance. Connecting with loved ones is a vital source of personal joy. Relationships grounded in support, communication, and shared experiences create fulfillment that no professional achievement can replace. Dedicate time each day to meaningful interaction, whether a conversation, shared meal, or simple presence. These moments strengthen bonds and provide emotional stability that reinforces resilience and effectiveness in other areas of life. Engaging in hobbies and passions outside of work fosters creativity and satisfaction. Activities pursued purely for enjoyment stimulate the brain in ways that routine tasks cannot. Painting, music, exercise, or learning a new skill not only produce joy, but also enhance problem-solving abilities and cognitive flexibility. By integrating personal passions with daily life, you create a richer, more balanced existence. Mindfulness enhances the quality of joy. Being fully present in each experience deepens satisfaction and reduces stress. Whether savoring a meal, enjoying a walk, or listening attentively to someone, presence transforms ordinary moments into meaningful memories. Practicing mindfulness alongside productivity ensures that every hour spent is both effective and emotionally rewarding. Balancing productivity with joy requires boundaries. Overworking or constantly chasing deadlines leads to exhaustion and diminishes returns. Set clear limits on work hours and prioritize essential tasks to prevent energy depletion. These boundaries protect personal time and reinforce the importance of happiness as a vital component of a fulfilling life. Energy management is critical for sustaining balance. Recognize when you are mentally, physically, or emotionally drained and allow yourself restorative activities. Rest and pleasure are not passive indulgences. They are strategic investments in long-term performance. Ignoring these needs reduces productivity, creativity, and emotional resilience. By valuing personal joy as part of your energy plan, you maintain peak effectiveness and mental clarity. Gratitude magnifies both productivity and personal satisfaction. Daily reflection on achievements and enjoyable experiences reinforces a positive mindset. Appreciating progress, relationships, and simple pleasures cultivates emotional stability and reduces the stress of unmet goals or challenges. Gratitude creates a harmonious balance between effort and fulfillment, making work more meaningful and leisure more satisfying. Integrating physical activity into daily routines strengthens both productivity and joy. Exercise releases energy, improves mood, and enhances focus. Simple practices like walking, stretching, or structured workouts increase resilience, creativity, and mental clarity. Combining movement with mindful attention to your body elevates personal satisfaction while supporting sustained achievement. Balancing productivity with personal joy also requires flexibility. Life is dynamic and priorities may shift unexpectedly. Adapt your schedule to accommodate meaningful experiences without abandoning essential work. Flexibility ensures that neither your goals nor your well-being is compromised and reinforces the principle that a balanced life is intentional rather than accidental. Reflection reinforces balance. At the end of each day, assess whether your time allocation supported both accomplishment and fulfillment. Identify areas for adjustment and plan improvements for the next day. Regular reflection ensures that personal joy remains an integrated part of life and prevents productivity from overtaking emotional health. The pursuit of goals becomes more sustainable when paired with personal joy. Happiness motivates action, enhances creativity, and sustains resilience during challenges. Without joy, even meaningful achievements may feel empty. By intentionally combining focused effort with moments of satisfaction, you create a life where progress is fulfilling and each day carries purpose and energy. Boundaries between work and personal life preserve clarity and emotional well-being. Avoid allowing professional tasks to encroach on time reserved for meaningful activities. Establishing and respecting these boundaries protects both achievement and personal fulfillment. Clear distinctions allow focused engagement in work while fully embracing leisure and personal experiences. Prioritizing joy requires courage. Society often equates constant busyness with worth, but consistent overwork diminishes creativity, health, and satisfaction. Choosing to invest time in meaningful personal moments reinforces autonomy and enhances the quality of life. Courage lies in valuing your well-being as essential, not optional. Long-term productivity depends on sustainable energy and motivation. Overemphasis on work without joy eventually leads to fatigue, frustration, and diminishing returns. Incorporating daily personal satisfaction maintains energy reserves, improves emotional balance, and ensures that high performance can be sustained over time. Balance prevents burnout and supports continuous growth. Integrate reflection, rest, and joy into your daily schedule intentionally. Treat these elements as equally important to professional tasks. This mindset shift ensures that success is not measured solely by output, but by the quality of life and fulfillment achieved along the way. Balanced lives are resilient, productive, and deeply satisfying. Ultimately, balancing productivity with quality moments of personal joy transforms your life. It allows you to achieve more while maintaining well-being, creativity, and emotional strength. By consciously combining effort and enjoyment, each day becomes both productive and meaningful, ensuring that your growth is sustainable, your satisfaction is genuine, and your life is fully lived. Chapter 19. Reflect weekly to refine how you spend your time. Reflection is the key to transforming time into meaningful progress and mastering the way you live each day. Without deliberate examination of how your hours are spent, life can easily drift from intention into reaction, leaving potential unfulfilled and opportunities unnoticed. Weekly reflection is not a passive exercise. It is a strategic practice that allows you to assess priorities, evaluate results, and refine your actions to align with your highest goals. By dedicating time every week to review how you use your time, you gain clarity, control, and direction for the week ahead. Start by setting aside a consistent period each week to reflect without distractions. This could be a quiet hour on a Sunday evening, or any day that allows for uninterrupted focus. Use this time to examine the past week critically and honestly. Identify which actions moved you closer to your goals, which consumed energy without meaningful results, and where patterns of inefficiency emerged. Awareness is the first step toward improvement, and weekly reflection ensures that awareness remains fresh and actionable. Documenting your reflections is crucial. Write down your successes, challenges, and observations about how time was spent. This record provides a tangible view of your habits and trends over time. Writing reinforces accountability and allows you to track progress beyond memory alone. It also gives perspective on recurring obstacles, patterns of distraction, and areas where time could be better allocated in the coming week. Analyze your priorities during reflection. Did your actions reflect what truly matters? Are critical goals receiving the focus and energy they deserve? Often, weekly review reveals that urgent but low-impact tasks dominate attention while important work is delayed. Identifying these mismatches allows you to restructure your schedule, delegate where possible, and refocus your energy on high-value activities. Prioritization ensures that time is spent effectively and purposefully. Consider your habits during the week. Which routines supported productivity and personal growth? Which habits drained energy or created friction? Weekly reflection allows you to reinforce positive behaviors and adjust or eliminate those that hinder progress. Small changes in habit can compound into substantial improvements over time, making reflection an essential tool for continuous growth. Assess how distractions impacted your time. Were there moments where focus was lost to unplanned interruptions, social media, or low-value tasks? Recognizing these patterns allows you to implement strategies that protect attention in the future. Reflection turns past distractions into lessons for building a more intentional and disciplined approach to time management. Evaluate how balance was maintained. Did work and personal life harmonize, or did one dominate at the expense of the other? Reflection provides insight into whether energy and attention were allocated in a way that supports both achievement and well-being. Adjusting this balance ensures that progress is sustainable and life remains fulfilling rather than stressful or exhausting. Set actionable goals for the coming week based on your reflections. Decide which tasks, routines, or habits require adjustment. Identify the areas where focus should be intensified, where simplification is needed, and where new strategies can be applied. Concrete action items derived from reflection transform insight into practice, creating a clear roadmap for intentional progress. Reflection also enhances decision-making over time. As patterns become clear, choices about how to spend hours and energy become more informed and strategic. Weekly review sharpens judgment, reduces reactive behavior, and empowers you to make deliberate decisions that align with long-term objectives. Each reflection session builds a stronger capacity for planning and foresight. Incorporate gratitude into your weekly review. Acknowledge accomplishments, progress, and positive experiences. Gratitude fosters a balanced perspective, reinforcing motivation while recognizing effort and achievement. This practice strengthens resilience as you appreciate small victories even amidst challenges, and ensures reflection is constructive rather than discouraging. Track time spent on personal development. Did the week include learning, skill building, or activities that strengthen future capabilities? Reflection reveals whether intentional investment in growth occurred and where improvements are needed. Regular evaluation ensures that daily actions consistently contribute to long-term objectives rather than being consumed entirely by routine or distraction. Evaluate how energy levels affected performance. Consider which activities energized you, which drained you, and how rest and recovery were incorporated. Reflection allows you to optimize energy allocation, ensuring that high-impact tasks are performed when focus is strongest and that sufficient restorative practices are included. Aligning energy with action maximizes effectiveness. Identify opportunities for simplification. Weekly review often highlights areas where unnecessary complexity or overcommitment reduces efficiency. Eliminating or streamlining these elements frees time and mental resources for higher value activities. Simplification supports clarity, reduces stress, and enhances both productivity and personal satisfaction. Reflection strengthens accountability. By reviewing past actions, you confront results honestly and commit to adjustments. Accountability to yourself is a cornerstone of discipline, ensuring that time is not wasted and that progress continues steadily. Each week becomes a checkpoint for maintaining alignment with your goals and values. Consider collaboration and delegation during review. Identify tasks that could be shared or delegated to maximize impact and preserve focus for critical priorities. Reflection enables strategic decision-making, ensuring that energy is invested where it produces the greatest return. This approach multiplies effectiveness without extending effort. Use reflection to anticipate challenges in the coming week. Analyze upcoming obligations, deadlines, and potential distractions. By forecasting obstacles, you can proactively plan strategies, set boundaries, and allocate resources to prevent time loss. Reflection is not only backward-looking but also forward-thinking, equipping you to navigate future demands with precision and control. Evaluate personal satisfaction and joy. Did the week include meaningful experiences and moments of rest or pleasure? Reflection ensures that productivity is balanced with well-being, and that life does not become purely task-driven. Incorporating joy and recovery into weekly review preserves motivation, resilience, and overall life quality. Refine your routines based on insights gained. Weekly reflection reveals which practices are effective and which require modification. Adjusting routines strengthens habits, reduces friction, and enhances the flow of daily life. Continuous improvement of routines ensures that time is consistently aligned with priorities and energy is efficiently used. Finally, commit to consistency in reflection. Weekly review is most powerful when it becomes a habitual practice rather than an occasional activity. Consistent reflection creates a feedback loop for improvement, ensuring that insights translate into action and that time is increasingly optimized over months and years. Discipline in review accelerates growth, clarity, and purposeful living. By reflecting weekly, you transform time from a passive resource into an active tool for personal and professional growth. Each session reinforces focus, clarifies priorities, strengthens habits, and guides decisions. Reflection enables you to correct course, seize opportunities, and align actions with goals. The deliberate practice of weekly review ensures that your time is not only spent, but invested wisely, producing results, growth, and a life lived with intentionality and purpose. Chapter 20. Commit fully to progress and avoid unnecessary delays. Progress requires full commitment because hesitation wastes opportunities and undermines potential. Every moment delayed is energy lost and action deferred, reducing the impact of your efforts and slowing the trajectory toward your goals. To achieve meaningful results, you must adopt a mindset that prioritizes decisive action, discipline, and consistency above convenience or comfort. Waiting for the perfect moment only guarantees lost time. Progress is built through intentional, persistent steps taken now. Begin by clarifying your objectives and committing to them with unwavering focus. Define what success looks like in tangible terms and identify the actions necessary to reach it. Commitment is not passive agreement, but active engagement with your goals, aligning daily actions with long-term vision. By anchoring decisions in clearly defined objectives, hesitation diminishes and momentum grows naturally. Overcoming procrastination is essential to full commitment. Delays often arise from fear, uncertainty, or perceived lack of readiness. Recognize these barriers as internal obstacles, not external limitations. Address them directly by breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps that reduce resistance and make progress inevitable. Taking even modest action generates momentum that fuels further effort and strengthens confidence. Discipline is the engine of progress. It sustains action when motivation wanes, distractions arise, or challenges appear. Daily commitment to consistent effort reinforces habits that compound into significant achievement over time. Avoiding unnecessary delays requires a structured approach to work, careful time management and prioritization of high-impact activities. By embedding discipline into your routine, you create a system where progress is automatic rather than sporadic. Set deadlines for yourself to prevent open-ended postponement. Specific, realistic timelines provide urgency and clarity, converting intention into action. Without deadlines, tasks linger, energy dissipates, and momentum falters. Regularly reviewing timelines ensures accountability and reinforces the habit of completing tasks promptly. This sense of urgency motivates focus and reduces the likelihood of wasted time. Decision-making must be swift and purposeful. Indecision creates inertia, allowing opportunities to pass while you weigh alternatives. Commit to evaluating options quickly, considering essential factors, and acting decisively. Trust in your preparation, research, and instincts, while remaining adaptable to adjust as needed. Confidence in decision-making accelerates progress and prevents unnecessary delays from accumulating into lost weeks or months. Eliminate distractions that hinder decisive action. External interruptions and internal preoccupations fragment focus and delay results. Protect your time by creating an environment conducive to concentration, minimizing interruptions, and dedicating blocks of uninterrupted effort to key tasks. A focused environment amplifies productivity, reduces wasted time, and reinforces the habit of committed action. Regularly review and adjust your approach to maintain momentum. Progress is rarely linear, and obstacles are inevitable. Reflection allows you to refine strategies, learn from setbacks, and redirect effort efficiently. Weekly or periodic assessment ensures that each action contributes meaningfully toward your goals, rather than consuming time without tangible outcomes. Continuous adjustment keeps momentum intact and prevents stagnation. Accountability is a powerful motivator for commitment. Share goals with mentors, peers, or partners who encourage follow-through and provide feedback. External accountability reinforces internal discipline and reduces the tendency to delay important actions. Knowing that progress will be observed by others strengthens resolve and instills urgency in completing tasks. Value time as a finite and precious resource. Recognize that delays cost more than missed deadlines. They consume energy, reduce opportunity, and slow growth. Cultivating an awareness of time's value encourages intentional action, prioritization of important tasks, and avoidance of distractions that dilute effort. Every moment saved by decisive action compounds into greater progress over time. Develop routines that support continuous forward movement. Structured habits reduce reliance on willpower alone and embed commitment into daily practice. Morning rituals, focused work blocks, and consistent review of objectives create an environment where progress occurs naturally. Routines remove uncertainty and minimize the friction that often leads to procrastination or delay. Embrace accountability to yourself. Hold yourself to high standards of follow-through and integrity in action. Avoid excuses, rationalizations, or justifications for delay. Recognize that commitment is demonstrated through results, not intentions. Consistently aligning actions with objectives strengthens character, reinforces discipline, and accelerates achievement. Visualize the impact of consistent action versus delayed effort. Imagine where you could be in 1 month, 6 months, or a year if you commit fully versus allowing hesitation to dominate. This mental exercise highlights the cost of delay and the value of persistent effort. Motivation increases when the consequences of inaction are understood and the benefits of commitment are tangible. Break large goals into specific, actionable steps. to remove ambiguity that often causes delay. Clearly defined tasks reduce hesitation by making the next move obvious. Each completed step builds momentum, reinforces progress, and strengthens confidence in your ability to achieve broader objectives. Actionable steps transform intention into measurable advancement. Resilience is critical for maintaining commitment. Obstacles, setbacks, and failures are inevitable, but persistence ensures continued progress. Viewing challenges as opportunities to learn rather than reasons to delay keeps focus on forward movement. Commitment coupled with resilience turns difficulties into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Celebrate progress while avoiding complacency. Acknowledge achievements to reinforce motivation, but use them as fuel to sustain action rather than signals to pause. Recognizing incremental wins strengthens momentum, fosters confidence, and encourages further dedication to consistent effort. This balance between acknowledgement and forward drive maintains high performance without stagnation. Prioritize tasks that yield the highest impact first. Delaying critical activities reduces their potential effect and undermines overall progress. Focus on actions that align most closely with objectives and deliver measurable results. Prioritization ensures that every moment spent contributes maximally to achieving goals. Commitment requires emotional alignment with purpose. Internalize the significance of your goals and the consequences of delay. When purpose is felt deeply, hesitation diminishes and action becomes instinctive. Emotional engagement reinforces discipline and provides intrinsic motivation that sustains long-term progress even during challenging periods. Avoid over-planning as a substitute for action. Excessive preparation can mask procrastination and delay results. While planning is essential, it must be paired with immediate execution. Treat each plan as a guide rather than a barrier, and move swiftly from intention to practical application. Execution is the tangible proof of commitment. Finally, reinforce the habit of immediate action. Cultivate a mindset that prioritizes starting over waiting, moving over hesitating, and doing over delaying. Each decision to act strengthens momentum, builds confidence, and reduces the friction of procrastination. Commitment is measured by consistent, focused, and timely action that drives progress without unnecessary hesitation. By fully committing to progress and avoiding delays, you create a life of purpose, momentum, and results. Daily, decisive action compounds into significant achievements. The discipline to act, the courage to persist, and the wisdom to focus on what matters most transforms intention into reality. Commitment ensures that time, energy, and talent are invested effectively, producing tangible outcomes, lasting growth, and a life marked by achievement and fulfillment.